All right. Here we are, my friends. Episode 39 of the Pwncast. This one I mean, this is a long time coming. I've actually known this guy for years. When I first came to Outlands, I was looking for a Mage Tamer template, and he actually hooked me up with one. He's a very notorious player. I mean, you can't say his name without somebody having something to say, whether it's good or bad. But either way, Akasha, man, tell us a little bit about yourself, my friend.
How you doing? Glad to be here.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit about myself is really vague.
Uh-huh.
I am probably one of the older players on the server, in the PvP scene at least. I've been playing UO since '99. I remember buying the box of T2A on a Walmart shelf.
Right.
Uh, I had been playing Diablo 1 before that, and I saw in one of the gaming magazines. I can't remember what they were back then, but I saw that Ultima had an online game at the time, and I loved Ultima when I was a kid on like the NES. The various different Ultima games I would always rent from Blockbuster and stuff.
Yeah, like
And
Ultimate Exodus, right? I think was
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yep.
all of them. There was like a bunch of them, all of them. I
Okay.
loved the RPG games. And Ultima, I didn't know a whole lot about Ultima other than the couple games that I had rented and really liked,
Yeah.
and so I really wanted to get into it. And I remember my first moments in UO. I started in Minnock, and I didn't understand the game. Like I didn't. It was Sandbox, right? And that didn't exist before. Like in
Right.
Diablo, you understand the game. You go kill mobs and
Yep.
stuff. But I didn't understand. You had levels, and I understood that stuff. I didn't understand UO, and so I'm wandering around aimlessly, and I think I probably was talking to NPCs, and then I started talking to. Then I started talking to these two guys in cloaks, and I was like, "How do I play this game? What do I do?" And they like walked me up to the top of Minnock, and we sat in a tavern, and they gave me the spiel on what to do. They told me I should start as Taylor, and I was a heck of noob
Yeah.
when I first started this game. Like
Yeah.
I didn't get into PvP for about the first year
Yeah.
um, into it, but I just remember that's how I got into Ultima way back then. But I've been gaming since I was probably 5 years old. I remember my first system was an Atari 2600. I think my first game was Qbert. I've been playing games since they basically existed,
Yeah.
video games at least.
I looked out. My father was a gamer, and so I also was kind of born into gaming. It was a Nintendo for me. My dad jokes. I don't think it's true, but my dad jokes and says my first word was Nintendo. But I don't think it's true. But either way, and just I can remember like original Ninja Turtles.
That game was hard.
It was. I don't know how much you look on Twitch, but Forest of Wires, Carl from UO Forever. You know who he is?
Is that the former coder from UO Forever,
I'm not sure. I'm
or
not
whatever?
sure.
Because
I know
he
he's a
had
player, but
Shane had a coder way back in the name named Carl. I actually was a counselor on UO Forever for about
okay.
half a year at the point, and the person I worked for was named Carl. Guess it's not the same people. Go ahead.
Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. I know I don't know. But anyways, he plays there not as much anymore, but he streams every once in a while there. But he usually does like these big crazy raves on stream, and like he does world first races for older games, and that was one that he was trying to do, was that old school Ninja Turtles game. And um, I just remember watching him do it and just remembering the frustration I had as a kid playing that game. And not getting anywhere near where he was, but it's some of those old games, man. I don't know. I think they were harder back then.
Yeah, yeah. We're in a different time and a different whatever, but
Yeah,
I definitely own that game, and it's one of the few games I never beat. So
yeah.
I mean,
Do
it
you
was
ever
hard.
jump on YouTube and like look up endings for games like that you never beat?
Not intentionally, but I'll go down rabbit holes and end up seeing content and just zoning out on stuff like that because it's cool memories.
Mm-hmm. So where did the name Akasha come from? Was that your character name when you first logged into Ultima, or I mean, did it just kind of come from something, or?
No, no. My name was Onyx when I first started. Uh, and then I moved. That was in Atlantic, and then I moved to Baja early on because I had a friend in real life that I found out played UO, and he played on Baja. Even though it was worse ping for us because that's what was a West Coast and we were East Coast. And that's where I actually started PvPing. And I had the cringest name you've ever heard of. I can't believe I was that cringe. But my name on Baja was Dirty Sanchez.
Ah, I love it.
Yeah,
No, it's
yeah.
better back then than it is
Back
now,
then, yeah,
because
yeah,
like
no.
that's like unheard. You know, because back then everybody was serious, right? Everybody was so serious, except for very few people. But nowadays, it's like you got dumbasses with names like Pwn Star. You know what I mean? Like it's a
That's a great name.
yeah,
That's a
sure,
great name.
but you know what I mean. Like it took a lot to be a troll back then, or have a goofy name like that. I like it, dude. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, I had it for a couple years. Eventually, somebody pays the GM, and the GM came and changed my name without giving me. He just rolled the dice, and I became Brian.
Right.
I was like,
That's
all right, whatever. But no, I when Siege Perilous came out, Siege Perilous, the best server ever made in the history of Yo. When Siege Perilous came out, and it was such a good rule set and unique, whatever, I decided to go over after about 6 months into the server. I wish I had gone from day one.
so real quick.
Um,
Siege, just so everybody out there knows, Siege was one character, correct, Akasha,
yeah,
and it was all fell based and super slow skill gain. Is am
yeah.
I
That
right?
that was not the cool part. Super slow skill gain was not the cool part though. We dealt with it, but it was one character. So per account, and most people at that time with the subscription fees and all that stuff only had one account. Some people had two, but not everybody.
Yeah.
Um, and so basically, everything you did was tied to your name. Your name mattered. Like now, if you're on Outlands, you have 15 characters. Some have more than that.
Yeah.
Uh, and you can do things, and people won't know it's shady things, or troll people, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I really liked the idea of
Player
social
identity.
justice.
I agree.
Like
Yeah.
you're the whole point of Siege was social justice. Your actions mattered. Like it was the most ruthless server because it was the only server that had no stat loss. Reds were allowed in town, and they had no stat loss, and that was nothing like anywhere else on UO. But you also only had one character, so if you went red, you're always red. And there were there were two classes of reds. There were red PKs and there were red anti PKs because people would be red, but they were like RPing anti PKs or whatever. But
Yeah.
sometimes you got to kill.
The blue
Sometimes the blue
healer.
person's got to die, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
How cool.
So yeah, it was a really good. It's a really good server. Anyways, I went to Siege, and I decided no longer wanted to go by that ridiculous moniker. And I was thinking, and I was a huge fan of Anne Rice's vampire books. In fact, my favorite book still to this day is Queen of the Damned, and Akasha is kind of the main one of the main focuses of that book, the mother of all vampires in that world. And I was a little goth at the time. I had long blue black hair, and
Awesome.
you know. wearing
Yeah.
Danzig shirts and Doc
Yeah.
Martens and stuff like that.
I like it.
And so I went I made my character as Akasha, and it stuck. I have been Akasha since 2000 or something like that. One character kind of cemented that, right? You choose your name. That's your
Yeah.
name on Siege. And
Yeah.
so I was on Siege for a while, before I went to another server, and I just kept using that screen name.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, retail. I was Chris and I was Ninja, but I gave Ninja to my friend who played with me at the time, and then I just became Chris, and it was real original there. But I do,
Hey,
man. I know exactly what you're talking about. Back then. Um, so I didn't play on Siege, but I knew it was really cool. I just was, man, I was so bad at Ultima back then, like really bad. I had no business over there. But I mean, it was just the internet also as a whole where people's names meant something in their actions. I mean, I played EverQuest on Ralozek, which was a PvP server, and it was really cool. Like, you kill somebody, and then you could loot one item from them, and
yeah, yeah.
it was awesome.
You might have run into my guild. My
Okay.
guild on Siege Perilous went to EverQuest on Ralisec, and they're still together to this day. They actually battle. They're in like this long-term struggle with the Guinness Book of World Records with
Oh wow.
LLTS, Long Live the Syndicate, to
Okay.
be recognized as the oldest online guild in the world. But I was with this guild in Siege, and I was with them for 14 years, and Undead Lords, UDL, and they went over to Ralosec, and they were pretty big there too. I never
Okay.
played. I never played EverQuest, so I don't know. But I know that a whole large faction of our group, when they left for EverQuest,
Yeah.
it was like there were like 8 of us left, 5 of us left on
Yeah.
Siege.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another topic to get into, but I mean that was it though. Like if you killed somebody and you weren't at war with that guild, then you were suddenly donned as a PK, and people
Hmm.
would just be like, "Oh, Akasha is a PK. He just randomly kills people," and so like the whole server would band against Akasha because he's a known PK. But it was all just like social structures. There wasn't the notoriety like there is on UO with like blue and red and whatnot. It was just who's a known PK or not, and so the guild I was in, we abused that, and we would just go to war with people for dumb reasons. Like I would run my guy down somewhere and be like, "Hey, this is my spawn now. If you don't like it, then my guild's just gonna war your entire guild, and I promise you'll be disbanded by the end of the month." And that was just like a thing, and they would leave the spawn, but it was okay because we would just war them. It wasn't okay, but you know what I mean. We were just bullies.
You
Um,
know what you're getting into when you join a PvP server. Like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
if you had done that on a normal UO server pre-tram, then there's a little bit of moral ambiguity to it. But when you click and purposely log into a PvP server, you
Yeah,
can't cry about that kind of interaction, to be honest.
I agree. I agree. But it was just those social interactions, man. I can remember I did join a PK guild, and it became known, and I had to go on like this guild's forums because every guild had a website and forums.
Yeah,
I had to go on
yeah.
their forums and write an apology for joining a PK guild and killing people on the server, and I had to pay money to be off of their KOS list. And it just like the weird politics
Nah.
like that were. It was so cool back then, man. You just don't get that anymore.
Yeah, my that UDL guild I'm telling you about is
Mhm.
was an RP PvP guild. They were very serious about PvP, but they were also super serious about RP. It was funny. Like for the first 6 months on Siege, I was a solo. I got some funny stories about that, but I won't say
Yeah.
it right now. But I was kind of solo, had made a couple friends or whatever, I wasn't in a guild. And this guild I would kill them, but there were so many and they had such good response and I would always die.
Hmm.
I would never get away with any loot and I would always die. Didn't matter that I killed people before they killed me. I just always died. And then at one point, after dying, they resed me and I said, fine, I'll join. But I was just joking. But I was pretty good. at
Yeah.
PvP back then, and the guy who res me, he was like, "Are you serious?" And I said, "Yes, I'm tired of dying to you guys." And so they brought me back to the castle and gave me a slave uniform, and I had to be an RP mortal slave to them. They gave me quests and stuff and mistreated me, and they had to make me a slave for. I think I was one of the longest term slaves
Yeah.
because I couldn't because I'm me, right?
Sure. Yeah, you had
and
been killing
and
their
I could
members and screwing with them
no
for,
no
you know.
no 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 that's not why I was the
Oh.
longest terms.
Oh.
Because I'm just a jackass.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
like I can't play the role that I'm supposed to be playing correctly enough or whatever. But
Okay.
anyways, my when I became a squire finally and got a specific knight tied to me, um, he was like, "Look, you've got PvP down. You're one of the best in our guild for sure. So we're not going to work on your PvP. I'm going to make you work double time on your RP." And this guy made me write 2 stories a week on the forums,
Oh,
like
cool.
about in games. I had to write like full blown little stories for like half a year. I don't know. I don't even, when I look back, I don't know how I made it through all this because this wasn't me. But at the same time, some part of it was me. And I
Yeah.
found it was like a little bit of a challenge. And I don't know. I stayed with that guild for 14 years. 14 years in a guild that's a serious commitment. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
my daughter's not even 14. Like I don't think I have any commitment in my life that's ever been 14 years.
That's
It's kind of wild.
yeah, that's great. That's great. And so they were on or Siege, right?
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
they were originally on Catskills, and they went to Siege, and that's where I met them.
Yeah.
And they've played like every game since. I parted ways with them in Arcade at one point. I went back for a short period of time, but that was one of the. If I had to go back, hindsight is. I have a lot of hindsight in my life at this point. My last year of my life, I. It's well known that I became a Christian, and I've had a lot of looking back and at things that I've done and the ways I've behaved. And I have to say that when I left UDL, that was probably one of the shittier times in my life where I was being just an asshole all the time, um, and they were probably like breathe a sigh of relief because I was just causing so much drama and I don't know why. I don't know why I was like that. I really don't know. Um, I'd
Well,
like to think that I'm not at this point, but who knows? But yeah. So I left them in Arcade, and because they weren't like being serious enough for me. This is kind of what was shitty about it. Is like
yeah.
I have a 14 years with a guild. I was the GM of that guild in multiple games before that, both
Uh-huh.
Dark Falls at one point and stuff like that. And I left them in Arcades because they weren't being competitive enough for me. It's a game. Like that shouldn't that's that's kind of a betrayal on my part, in my opinion. And I've always regretted it. But I still have a bunch of friends from there, and we still talk. But yeah, I
Sure.
uh, I was definitely kind of a jerk and that progressed into several points of my Outlands time as well. Um, I don't really have a lot of excuses for being that way. There's a lot of people, like you said at the beginning of this message or this
Sure.
podcast or whatever, that everyone will have something to say, whether it's good, and then you just say, or bad.
Well,
Yeah,
the same could be said
like
about anybody, man. I didn't mean it
yeah.
like, you know.
No, 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 no. No, you're spitting facts. Like
Yeah.
I have had an abrasive personality for a long time, uh, and I think what rubs people the wrong way, not my actions. Like I've never stolen from anyone, scammed anyone, cheated, lied, done any of that type of stuff. I don't think that is what bothers people. I think that I had a large ego and very unhumble, and a lot of times it wasn't even valid. I mean, I'm like over the hill. Like I'm way past my prime, and I'm still talking like that Dirty Sanchez from Baja, and I'm not pulling the weight like Dirty Sanchez from Baja did. So, you know,
You're
I definitely,
you're just
it's been a growing up.
opinionated. You're just opinionated and outspoken in a PvP game, man. I mean, that's just it. You know what? Like anybody
I
that's
would.
opinionated and
That's how.
outspoken in a PvP game, they're gonna get mixed feelings towards them from all kinds of people. You know? I mean, that's just how it is.
I appreciate you saying it like that. Like that's how I tried to portray it. But you know, I was an asshole a lot of the time. And I'll take this time if anybody listens to this, if I've ever been an asshole to you and it wasn't warranted, I apologize. From bottom of my heart, I'm sorry. I never meant to be that way.
There you go. There you go. You're good. You're good in my book, man. Although you never, me and you never really got into it. So
No, no. I'm not really that bad. I
I don't think
just
you are. No.
just a bit of an abrasive braggart, and there's no reason to be.
Yeah, but it's a 30-year-old wizard game, man. I mean, you've spent enough time in PvP channel and just playing online games, Ultima specifically. It just kind of breeds that for a lot of people, and I don't know. The way I've always thought about it is, and this is me. And look, I'm a very optimistic, happy-go-lucky person until it's just blatant, blatant the opposite
Yeah,
way. But
yeah.
to me, it's like I always retrospect go back to me and my friends playing Halo in the same room, and I'm just talking mad shit to the guy next to me, right? Whether
Oh,
he's beating me
100%.
or I'm beating him or whatever. And to me, that's exactly what I'm. Dude, just Saturday night, I'm sitting
That's
here streaming, and this guy's doing a dump on me, and I'm healing through it, and I'm telling him he fucking sucks in the middle of my stream. Like, I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
mean
yeah.
anything by it. I really
100%.
don't. But it's just I'm in the moment. I'm playing the game, and I'm saying, "Ha, you fucking suck, you idiot. Why are you casting an e-bolt right now?" Like, you know what I mean? But it's
Yeah,
just
yeah. So so I get exactly what you're saying, but I carried that over from like streaming and in-game
okay.
into the Discord, and that was my problem is I always looked at Discord as just an extension of the game, and we're just all playing. I'm slinging verbal e-bolts. They're not really supposed to hurt you. It's supposed to be your character. It's supposed to be your game, and no one's supposed to get upset. But
Yep.
sometimes I get upset, and sometimes other people got upset, and it goes too far,
Yeah.
and you know, I think it's just my tism not letting me uh, realize when things are getting awkward and I'm going too far and whatnot. And I don't know. I've taken a lot of time off building my own stuff, and it's been peaceful and a lot of time to self-reflect. I'm still competitive. I'm still super competitive. I just don't think that I have it in me anymore to be the the instigator that I
Sure.
have always been.
I hear you. I hear you. So let's get into a segue into some of that too. But first, I mean, tell me. So Siege. I'll be honest, man. I wish I could have been a part of that. I know they've made free servers of Siege, but it's never going to be like it was back in the day of uncertainty and
It's
unknowing
not
and all that.
it's not the server itself, it's also the time period of our
Exactly.
lives. We
Yeah.
associate the whole time period of our life with the video game that we were playing, but we're never getting that life back. So
Right. Mustache Gaming said it best that we're always chasing that dragon. He always would say
yeah.
that, and I think that's the best way to put it. But what got you like initially on like custom servers, free servers, stuff like that?
I think the very first free server I played, it was like before Run UO was a thing. It was like it might have been Sphere or something. I don't know. It was called Realm of Justice. And it was pretty small. Uh, There's actually a well-known UO player, a very well-known UO player, who uh, who played with me on that server. He didn't play with me; he just played there. His older brother was my friend from Baja, named Heavenly Black, and I had brought him over to this first server that I found out about player-run server. And his little brother uh, was 8 years old
Mm-hmm.
and came in and started playing. and his little brother copied my, because I was still going by Dirty Sanchez then. His little brother copied my like naming, my
Yeah.
basically my dumb immature naming thing, and named himself Donkey Punch.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
as an 8-year-old, and he was wrecking people within 2 weeks.
That's
This was
great.
like pre-cast Hallie. It was like Outlands is, right, and he was
Okay.
wrecking people. That kid grew up to be Big Cheese It, and a lot
Okay.
of people know who that is.
Okay.
So yeah,
Very, very
yeah,
prominent PvPer.
yeah. From played in pretty much every server since. But I mean, he's never big on Outlands, but he did play on Outlands. But he was big on IPY, and pretty much anybody in the PvP that has played PvP other than just Outlands
Sure.
certainly knows who Cheese It is. So
Yeah, I mean, for me, man, I dabbled. Well, let me rewind. I used to log on and PK people, but I wasn't like in the PK scene. You know what I mean? I was just a shitter minor PK that would get into scuffles with some other people and usually die, but every once in a while do something cool. And then UO Forever, I started taking it a little bit more serious. This is funny. UO Forever is when I started using potions, if that tells you anything. So like, and of course, being an EQMS, I learned how to target closest, and
I didn't even know you were in that guild.
yeah. I was
I
Tila
should have.
Tequila.
Everyone was in that guild apparently. So.
Yeah, I was Tila Tequila. Jihad
Oh wait
Johnny.
a minute.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
was
I
a
remember those names.
well, my
You were in City with me then at
I
some point,
was,
weren't you?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
City and maybe Burb. But so I used to jump into EQMS. I was Tila at the time, and I changed my voice purposely because I was doing this completely different person. And I'll never forget. Glut was like, "This is like he's he would always be like, tell us who you are and tell us where you're from." And I can't do it anymore. I don't remember it exactly, but I had this voice. And he was like,
Mhm.
dude, is your voice really like that? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, all right, man, we'll see. And I kept that shit up for a long time, dude. Kept that voice going. And, yeah, and every time I jump in and I do the whole Hail Adventures, Tizai, Tila, Tequila, and I too had a weird name. It was Pee in Your Butt was my PK's name. 'Cause, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it was pretty abrasive there. But it was UO Forever, right? And it was EQMS, and
Yeah.
you remember the ragtag group that was part of that.
Glut- Gluttony is possibly the goat when it comes to
Agreed.
putting a Zerg together. Like I think everyone uh, gives Pigwet a lot of credit for putting a lot of just massive people together at one point, but Pigwet doesn't hold anything. The Gluttony, that
Yeah.
guy, he did it in Darkfall too.
Did you
Like,
hear what he did on what's the game? Albion? He had like 30,000 people in that alliance, the Arc Alliance. I'm not exaggerating, dude, at all.
that guy is on another level,
Yeah, he's just a Wendy's manager, self-proclaimed Wendy's manager, dude.
right?
He's great. No, I do have a lot of respect for him to be able to uh, get, especially I don't know, man. That there was just some very fun people, very I don't know the right term, but very fun people in that guild, and he would somehow be able to just keep them all tame. And I can remember he would do like if people had beef, he would say, "All right, we're gonna have court." And he'd get Archerson in there, and he'd have the two people state their problem with each other, and then
That's so
we'd
funny.
elect a jury, and like, dude, it was so toxic, but it like fit. You know what I mean? That was how
Yeah,
you like tamed the mob of having 80 people in Mumble at once zerging. It was wild, dude. I don't know.
I built a few Zergs in my day too, but nothing on the scale that Glut put together. I think um I think the guild on Lake Austin that I brought to back when I went back to Siege the second time, AB was probably about 140 people. Uh, I think Hero at its most at the beginning of Outlands was probably like 80 or 90 people, but 30,000.
Dude, it's crazy.
Like, obviously, he's not the guild master of 30,000. He's probably one of the alliance leaders, but that's still
Yeah.
politicking, and I can't. That's too much admin work.
Yeah, I
I
don't
burnt.
remember
I burnt
how.
myself out of every time I built a big guild because I tried to control everything and I tried to handle and not control. I tried to be responsible and do everything all the time,
Mhm.
and without fail, I would always burn myself out like 4 or 5 months in.
Yeah, yeah. That'll happen, right? But yeah, it was something like that. I mean, it was the Arch Alliance, right? Like we went over there. I can remember they all half of EQMS got banned, and then we went over there and played Albion. I didn't really stick around too long, and then I ended up coming back to Forever, and that was when I was in City, and that's really when I had met you, and then um, yeah, I kind of dabbled there and to and from on Albion, but I mean, yeah, it was like a big alliance. It was the Arch Alliance, and yes, it was multiple guilds, but I mean that Discord's still there and fucking crazy. But I don't know, they're still playing. I don't know how much he's involved this day, but I don't know. Anyways, what UO Forever wasn't like your first free server, right? I mean,
Oh,
you
not
played a
even.
lot more.
No, that was probably
Yeah,
10 deep.
yeah,
No, I would say the first serious UO server that I played was like Angel Island, like the first Angel Island, second Angel Island, or whatever, where it had like 400 or 500 people, and I played it pretty hard. I played a couple little ones before that, but I would say the first Angel Island, which is like 2003 or something like
I
that.
hear a lot about
Um,
Angel Island. What was special about that?
it was just the a big UOR server
Okay.
that had no mounts and was uh, it had a personality running it that had been known for UO content before that. I don't know. It was just a good time because like
Yeah.
AOS was out at the time, and then Samurai Empire. That so drastically changed the game. And
Yeah.
while it was fun for a little bit, I think it didn't sit well with the majority of the UO players at the time, and
Yeah.
that's why private servers started taking off because uh, OSI refused to run two eras at the same time and wouldn't make a classic server, and everybody just longed to go back to UOR. And then so they went back to UOR, and then some people were like, well, if we're going to go back, why don't we go back to T2A? And that's when the IPYs and stuff like that started popping up as well. But I think OSI shot themselves in the foot and is the reason that private servers started taking off because they refused to provide for the group of people that wanted that, and that group of people was a lot of people.
I would agree. I would agree. So I've heard that when they did Trammel and AOS and all that, like it did increase the subs substantially. But to your point, short term, right? Like I'm with you 100% where I really enjoyed the gear and the artifacts and stuff on AOS. It was so much fun. But once you get that stuff, it's just like, all right,
Yep.
now what?
No, you. Yeah. No AOS. There's a reason no AOS server lasts.
Right.
It's not because AOS isn't fun. It's because once you have your suit, it's over, and then it's just PvPing. And while people like to say they'll go out and bang for the fun of it all the time, there always has to be something that you're fighting over. And no AOS server has ever had, like, Outlands has factions and like seasonal things, and so there's just none of that has ever been on any AOS server, and it just devolves into the same 20 people that are fighting for an hour every 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, I would agree.
AOS just can't keep you long term. It's really fun for the build up, but once you get there, it's kind of over.
Right. It's the same. I mean, to me, it's like mixing old. I
It
mean,
changed.
Ultima Online and Diablo together.
Yeah, it changed the way the game. It changed the way the game is played,
Yeah.
and that's a problem because the whole reason UO is still around this deep into the game is because it had its own gameplay, and no one's ever really replicated the true sandbox style of UO. Um, and when you change the way that you play the game to be something more like a dungeon grinder or whatever, well, there's better dungeon grinders out there.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to play that style of game, there's better versions of that. The
Yep.
reason we play UO is because there are no versions of UO that really got it right. So
Right.
when you abandon that magic to try and keep up with the Joneses and have this new game style, but your game is the gameplay of it is just inferior to
Yeah.
the games that are coming out. You're it's a losing formula.
Right. No, I'm with you. 100%, man. You really hit the nail on the head there, man. I think people do need rewards. Yes, there is some people out there that are shaking their head saying, "Oh no, I don't care," and okay, they don't, but population as a whole does, and eventually
Yeah.
it's like 8 to 15 people or whatever, a very low number of people that are actually out there for the thrill of the game versus rewards.
And the game's not thrilling without all the other people in it either. You can't fight the
Agreed.
same people over and over. I
Yeah.
mean, I haven't been around personally to see how well the new setup system they have on Outlands is doing, the Elite Island type
Proving
thing they have
grounds.
going.
So
Proving Grounds?
it's exactly what you would think. You've got, I mean, you've got these two guys, Comp and Epic, which are, and there's some others. I'm gonna not say any more names because I don't want to leave anybody out and piss people off, right?
Yeah.
But those two, I would say, have really been doing the best at inviting people to be part of the proving grounds, and putting on tournaments and how-to classes and stuff like that. It's been pretty good. It's definitely not something that people are sitting there doing all the time.
Yeah.
um, and it's exactly that. There's no rewards to it, and so that's why you're not going to get those random people. Like, you've been around that you see the, oh, these are silver farmers. These are silver farmers, PVMers doing faction and this and that. And while, yeah, it's kind of
Mhm.
annoying, but at the same time, like, you need those people for the
No,
population.
it's
At least they pick up an e-bolt and toss it somewhere, and they stick with the crowd and create content in an environment. Let the elite guys that don't give a shit
you,
about that do their thing. You can have both environments.
you should have both of them.
Yeah.
I would say that UO is a pretty simple game.
Mhm.
It's this when you do this like high level 5v5 proving ground type stuff. To me it gets a little stale quickly because there's only so many people that you're going to do it against. There's a lot of trash talking. Some people think that's part of the fun of it, but like my most memorable fights are often against like non-elite people, but a lot of them, right? Like dynamic, not when you have like Corpse Creek contests and it's even numbers, it's going to be the same kind of engagement almost every time. But if you're in the field fighting against Indaria and there's 15 silver farmers and 8 PvPers, and you separate 3 of them and they're not the best, but there's 3 of them and you slowly pick them off one by one. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to win that fight.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to win that fight, but when you do win that fight, it's
That's the
often
best.
more dopamine and more
Agreed.
rewarding than beating somebody who's really good 1v1.
Yeah.
Like
So that
there's no
is
negativity either in
no.
it. You just feel good about it.
Yep.
You're not like, I hate that guy. I'm glad I smashed him. I'm gonna go talk shit at Discord.
Right.
Like that's
That is 100% what you just described. Is so I was in Sin here on Outlands for shit, man. For a long time, right? And I know you have a good
yeah.
history with them. We'll get into that, but I was in Sin for a very long time, and finally the thing that made me leave was because I got involved in factions, and I was spending all my playtime with Evil, and we would run around in groups of 5 to 6, 7, 8, 10, whatever, and we would fight impossible odds, and we would get our asses kicked, but we would also kick some ass. And that was, oh my God, exactly what you're talking about. A Zerg, we pick off 3, and now their numbers are dwindled. And then we pick off more, and then we get an amazing MS play. And then somehow we wiped, 2 times our numbers. And I'm just like, dopamine hit. Like, this is the most fun I've had in forever. And I was like, yeah, I want to bang with these guys all the time. You know?
Those are the only fights that I remember. These crazy. I don't even always remember the people I'm fighting. I just remember the scenarios and the pulling things off I shouldn't be able to pull off. I don't remember the fights against competent, good people, and that because there's so many of those
Sure.
that we have back to back. I don't know. I think some of the most fun fights I ever had on Outlands was the year that I stepped away from true PvP and joined a guild called Onyx
Yeah.
for PVM, and
They got a
I
good
spent
kill
a
on me
year.
over the weekend, by the way. Real good kill on me
I
over the
spent
weekend.
a year helping teach those guys how to defend their bosses and how to do whatever. They
Yeah.
were so cool. Like I loved. To this day, I love these dudes. I still talk to them
Yeah.
once in a while. A couple of them will message me. I'll message Tommy or Myth. Like I had a really good time in that guild, but it was really a break for me from what I had always been playing. But we did a lot of PvP and had a lot of fights, and they were not. They were just it was pretty cool to be like the caller or general or whatever of people who are learning PvP in a big mob against another group of raiding people who are not that are not elite PvPers. The
Sure.
amount of just chaos going on and stuff is, and you could see them over time
Get
start
better.
getting better and
Yeah.
start like following calls immediately and grouping up correctly and doing it's really a cool thing.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, that's awesome. No, yeah. Proving Grounds is, it's been successful for what you would imagine it to be, but I don't think it will ever grow to something that's just people are just constantly chunking 3v3s, 4v4, 5, just like all day. But it's serving its
I
purpose, and I
I
don't.
don't understand what it is. Like, is it just a landmass? Is there a stone? Is there actual like code involved in setting up the fights with the
Yes.
scoreboards and stuff?
Yeah, it's over
Okay.
there by like Bomberman and Rifts, and it's in the arena, and you just click it and set it all up, and you're in this, basically this island. It has
Yeah.
a lot less trees and stuff like that. I'm gonna butcher it because I haven't jumped in there and done it, so I don't want to say too much and they'll be like fucking Pwn Stars misrepresenting. You know what I'm saying? But that is the
No one
gist of it.
cares.
Yeah, sure. That's the gist of it. And it's the people that are involved in it love it. And I will say, I've seen proving grounds are a lot of fun for a couple matches, and then it's over, and then it's like that's about it. It's because there really isn't much of a long term goal
Yeah.
associated with it. Not to say
It's
there should
nothing
be.
new, right?
Yeah,
Like it could that could have happened at any given point. 10
yeah,
people can get together and say, "Hey, we're going to fight here," and they
sure.
have over time. This just sounds like an interface to
Mm-hmm.
organize it, and
Mm-hmm.
that's it. So
And
it's not actually really new content. It's a new landmass for them to do it, built for them to do it on, and some sort of interface to get them to get
I
it done.
I feel like there was something to do with the bars. I don't remember. You can like change the way the
Oh,
bars,
oh,
like the health
they
bars.
I bet you I know what it is. Did they code it so bars aren't sticky? So they
Yeah,
disappear when people get off screen? Because
yeah.
they had that on
You have a
Outland for a
choice.
week.
Yes, you
They
have a
had that for
choice
a
if I
week
remember right.
and it was so glorious. And then something I don't know what happened that caused them to put it back. Discord's really toxic and we all blamed each other and everyone was like, "Oh, Reddy complained and they wanted it," whatever. But we don't know why they put it back.
Yeah,
It's just you like to throw shade or whatever.
of course.
But they took it away and they never put it back, and we
I
we revolted over it for the longest time.
I feel like that is one of the options on that interface is how those health bars handle, and I think that's one. I'd have to somebody can confirm that. But yeah, I do know that that's a very big topic. Even still to this day, people still talk about all that. I wish I was part of it. If there's one thing that I've gotten really good at it, I'll say, of like, somebody calling the target and me hitting it. I've gotten really good at that. But, and I also actually call here and there, which is fun. But um, I don't care for the targeting system in like large group PvP. I just don't. I mean, I'm good at it, but I don't care for it. But I don't know what the real alternative is for it either. You know,
It's not much. There's
there
not
isn't.
much. Once you get to a certain scale of PvP, it's a different game.
Mhm.
It's not
Yeah,
personal skill. Can the team follow the commands, and can the commander, like the caller, position people correctly so that they can do things at the right time. And then on Outlands, they have the whole meteor swarm meta that came about. And
yeah,
it's always funny when it happens, but it also always just feels gross.
sure.
I'm never, after I see my team do it or get meteor swarmed and everyone just dies. Like there's about 10 seconds of, oh my God, la 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 la, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I just am like, man, that feels like drinking a diet soda. Like it's just not fulfilling at all. And
Sure.
and now we gotta wait for these people to res again, and I don't know. I don't
I
like it. I don't
I
I don't like it. But it's necessary for the way that the community turned, you know,
Mhm.
public events into bring as many people as you can. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. No, and there's not like a definitive. I mean, I say this and somebody will again correct me, but there's not like a definitive way to click your meteor swarm. You know what I mean? Like how many times have you dropped it and it be like that should have killed him. I don't know why it didn't kill him. You know what
There
I mean?
was, I think Luffy's nerfed it. The definitive way was to target to everyone to put one of your own guys on target, and
Uh-huh.
then have them run into into the middle of the group and get targeted by everybody. But I'm
Okay.
pretty sure that Luffy's put something in that if your meteor storm hits an ally, it reduces the damage it does or
I
whatever.
see. Yeah.
But
That's wild.
there's also Bile used to have when I was in Anarchy Bile, and this was back when we had when there was castle sieges. In fact, I got a few videos of it. Bile would set like bottles and stuff in like certain strategical areas, and he would tell you to target the bottle, and um,
Ah.
and then we would all like lead people through chokes precast or whatever, and this was before Meteor Swarm even got the
Popular.
boost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was it was good choke point stuff and things like that. So
Yeah.
like yeah,
That's cool.
but I get what you're saying. It's not when you're running and on the move and chasing. It's really chaotic, and I hate how many corpse creeps I've been to because it's so bridgy. Where like the entire time in comms, it's just the whole talk is about preventing us from getting meteor swarmed or
Yep.
setting up a meteor swarm, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this isn't fun to me at all. And I just start not logging in for it,
I
and
I like when we clash and then we call stand and bang, and it's just like we're just standing there when load e-bolt, funeral, load e-bolt, China, load e-bolt. You know what I mean? And it's just like we're just
that's
playing cards.
certainly better.
It's so
It's
much
not
fun.
it's not it's not the best,
No,
but it's
but
certainly better than the other
well, my
stuff.
favorite was is like so I didn't come here immediately at launch. It was right at Cavernim, and back then, Town Struggles. If you had organization, it was like always like half and half. If that Town Struggle was going to be organized, right? And the
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
that weren't organized were my favorite because you'd have these 1v2 skirmishes over by the casino, which was nowhere near a point. Like it was just
Uh-huh.
kind of a dumb skirmish for whatever reason. And that was a blast to me. I enjoy the camaraderie and the getting in comms and all that. It's what the game has evolved into, just with the way the online world works now. But I do miss that that chaos that came from not everybody being in comms. It was just
Man,
so much better.
on Siege, we didn't have comms at first. We didn't have voice comms. And you know how we called? We you would open your UO window, right? And then you would make it not full screen, and you would drag up the bottom of it up 3 inches from the bottom of the screen,
Mhm.
and behind that would be your MIRC client, and you could see the like bottom 3 lines of MIRC, and the caller would be calling target not 3, 2, 1. He would just be calling
Yeah,
quick targets and stuff in the field fights
that's
in
awesome.
MIRC, and you could read it at the bottom. But you still had to react on your own time, on your own, interrupt, block healing, and all kinds of stuff on your own.
Yeah.
But you were semi-coordinated, but not what we've devolved UO into
Oh yeah.
as a whole at this point.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's yeah, that's really cool. I can remember when my friend that I told you that I started playing UO with Beltane. But anyways, when I would either go to his house or he'd come to mine, and we'd bring our computers, and we were playing next to each other. Dude, we were unstoppable because I could look at his screen and he could look at mine, and we would just talk back and forth, and it was it was magical. But that was something that, like, it wasn't an every time thing, right? Otherwise it's we're sitting there literally typing to each other in the game, and sometimes what'd be funny about that is maybe we're hiding somewhere, or we're talking in party about how we're about to kill this guy, and then accidentally a periods before the party thing, and it accidentally goes over our head, and we like fucking
Yeah,
switch
yeah,
that. It's just like silly stuff like that. But
yeah.
um, all that's completely gone with Discord and all the new technology of it's funny as it is UO, but you know.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite server? Would it have been Angel Island? Would it have been Forever? I mean, would it have been Outlands? I mean, what would it have been?
So my favorite server is for sure Siege Perilous. But if we're talking about private servers,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
um, it's gonna be a toss up between Angel Island 1 and Outlands. Outlands is clearly the better server, and I played it for a lot longer, so I would have to give the edge to Outlands. But there was just something about the time period and the people, and it was very siege-like. That's what Angel Island was cool about. It was very siege-like. The
Yep.
the community, everyone knew who everyone was. Everyone used the same names. Like, even if they had extra characters, they would just be different variations of the names. I don't know, a lot of cool memories from them. There were RPers, but who were PvPers as well. One of the best PvP guilds on the server was RP PvP, so it just reminded me a lot of Siege. So the community there was pretty cool. Outlands is in a world of its own. It's no one's ever done um, quite what they've done. They they hit some sweet spots in the time frame of them launching, and what was being offered at the time. They obviously have a lot of experience with Lucius and a lot of talent. They had a great map because of Owen, uh, and it took off. And the
Yep.
fact that it's been around for 6 years and continually growing, and they've reinvested the money that they've made into hiring artists and hiring coders and people to help out and do things. They've built it into basically its its own version of the game at this point. It's not even an era anymore. A lot of content and a lot of stuff, but I mean, I had a really really good time at the launch of Outlands. I put a lot of time into the launch of Outlands. It's almost cringe. Like, I built that hero guild before we launched, and there were probably 50 people even before we launched. and I made these kids log in twice in beta. Twice in beta, I made them log in for 2-hour stretches and chop board so that we could time out how we were going to beat everybody else on the server and placing what our strategy was going to be, exactly how long it was. We were nerding it up. And
Yeah,
we had like 30 people chopping boards
that's great.
at,
Yeah,
in beta twice for a couple hours. And then
yeah,
launch comes and we do it and I place that Prev Gate house at 45 minutes
yep.
and and Lucius's what's it called? The
The
achievement thing
achievements.
pops up,
Yeah,
and the fucking Discord goes wild.
yeah.
Like, who's
45 minutes in,
cheating?
somebody
Blah
got a
blah blah
house
blah.
already. Yeah,
I
I
was
bet.
nervous. I was
Yeah,
so nervous that I bought it on a character named Carpentry because we were selling bows and stuff.
yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
bought it on a character named Carpentry instead of taking the time and putting it on Akasha, right, and getting that because I thought the rest of the server was going to be as
Bloody
nerded
for you.
out as we were.
Yeah.
But the next house didn't get posted, but placed for 2.5 more hours.
Oh man,
So
yeah.
I was like, I don't know. So much. That's what I mean by when I said earlier about burning myself out
Yeah.
is just taking the game entirely too seriously and doing stuff like that. Like, sure, it was cool and stuff like that, but it wasn't worth the amount of effort that everyone put into it. But we did. We placed 4 of the first 10 houses on the server, and we
Wow.
kept going for 2. I wouldn't let people play. This is what I mean. I was a jerk. I wouldn't let people play. I had to keep chopping and stuff like that because we had to. I promised everybody in the guild would get a house.
Yeah.
It was not fair to let people not to chop for 2 days and not get a house. So we weren't allowed to stop chopping until everybody in the guild got a house,
Yeah.
and we placed like 80 houses in the first 4 days. It was
And so you guys were chopping, making bows, and then selling back to the vendors. Is that correct?
yeah on
Yeah.
multiple accounts. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
like people just like an assembly line of boards coming in from Terran, and then
Yeah.
they're going out farther and stuff like that. Um, we had the first boat by over 24 hours. We went and to Spirituality Island and filled up the entire island of houses before anybody else had a boat.
Yeah.
That's a big island.
Yeah.
In fact,
Yeah.
I remember we had the first shrine ever, and it was the big skeletal dragon guy, and we killed it, and we didn't know how to split the loot, and it was bugged at the time. It dropped something like 350 onks,
Oh
and this
boy.
was really early, and
Yeah.
so we nobody else could get to the island, so we weren't afraid of thieves. So
Yeah.
we all just lined up in a line and opened all the onks and put all the loot on the grass.
Yeah.
350 something onks of it, just started rolling dice and
Uh-huh.
taking picks or whatever, and then and then someone was like, That's a lot of loot. Do you think that it was right?" So we messaged Owen immediately and was like, "Hey, this is probably too much." Uh, but
Loot.
while we
Yeah.
were all still there and had it, and he was like, "All right, well, I'm not going to take it from you guys. You can keep it, but it's definitely too much. Thank you for reporting it and not
Yeah.
abusing it." Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was just a wild time.
What okay, so you brought up an interesting thing, and I forget that you were a very prominent boater. What was it like early ocean? I mean, I know that a boat, you take it out there, no matter what upgrades crew, and you die, like it's done. I know that, but I mean, like politically, I mean, tell me just, I mean, how did you get crew members originally before? I don't know. Take it away. Tell me.
Early boating was super brutal. Strawberry was into boating long before me. I didn't get into boating until it was somewhat tramified, but not totally. Now it's like super. I don't
Yeah,
even know why people still boat, but I guess they like the gameplay. But you can't
money.
get
It's all
anything off
money.
of other people.
Yeah.
But back then, if they sunk your boat, you lost it. You lost everything on it, and you lost it, and that's brutal. And then he
Yeah.
changed it to where you you got a chance to drop one thing, and then you had to pay to get your boat back and stuff like that. And that was the era that I played. To get crew, there are 2 different ways. begging skill. You could beg certain NPCs in
Like
I
taverns and
didn't never
stuff.
had it in taverns
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and sometimes they would give you crew members. But the more common way was just to farm other boats on the ocean, and eventually they would drop crew. Um, I had type of stats and they're random when the boat is created or whatnot.
Uh-huh.
I had a galleon before it got nerfed, so the biggest boat. Before he did some nerfing to speed based on the size of your boat and stuff like that, and so it was allowed to have 6 crew and I had maximum speed on the galleon. Well, not max is 10.0 tiles a second, but mine was like 9.94 or something like that. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it was max, right? So at a max speed galleon, I had all of the upgrades on the boat that give you speed, including 3 abilities. So there's greater, lesser, and medium abilities that you can choose one from a big pool of if you own them. Kind of
Yeah.
like collecting cards, like a TCG almost. This is basically the AOS of
Yeah.
Outlands
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're building a build, right? But it's a boat.
Yeah.
And so I had all 3 of the movement ones, and then I had all 6 crew. This is the crazy. I think these crew are like worth 50 or 60 mil or something at this point each. Now, uh, crew come in a bunch of different types, and they have a star level, and the star level is how intense their abilities are. So you had to get a 5-star uh, crew member that only had speed. It couldn't have any other abilities because then it would split the intensity between it. So you had to have it roll just speed and 5-star. Super rare. I had all 6 of them completely maxed out. The gist of the story is
You are
my
fast.
my galleon traveled without any speed ability boosts being used. Traveled at 24 tiles a second.
Yeah.
If I
Like.
if I hit all, because you could stack them too. If
Yeah.
I hit all Ride of the Waves was the big one, and then if I
Yeah.
hit all 3 of the speed abilities, I could go from the bottom edge of the map to the top edge of the map in under 60 seconds. Which
Jeez.
So the meta in boating, and this is I don't know what they still do at this point, but there was like third-party programs, little maps built where you could see all your guildmates on them,
Uh huh.
and like had an alarm, and even the path that they were doing, and then they would have an alarm button on it. If you were scared or you met somebody, not met somebody, you were being attacked or whatever, you hit your alarm, and hey, come help me, etc. And you would see on the map where the alarm was going off.
Yeah.
Some people were. I think that one of the maps I was on used the Pirates of the Caribbean theme for the alarm. So you'd just be playing peacefully, and then suddenly it'd be like dun 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 dun, dun. And you're like,
Yeah.
uh oh, somebody needs help. Well, most boating guilds had this network of dock masters around the globe, and you would have to immediately go to shore, look in your big room book of all the dock masters, recall to a house of somebody's dock master that was nearby to the person needing help, wait for the minute to respawn your boat, and then spawn your boat, and that'd be the fastest way to get there.
Yeah.
My boat was so fast
It was just quicker
that
just to go,
it's quicker for me to go
huh?
anywhere on the map to anywhere else on the map than for
Yeah.
me to ever pack my boat up.
Yeah.
It was
That's
wild.
great. And you can just, I mean, with that much speed, it's like you can just poke, pull away, poke, pull away, poke. But I mean, you
But I'm
wouldn't have
also a
to. You're a
galleon, so
galleon, so
I
yeah.
have all the cannons and high hit points. So
Yeah.
not only are you not getting away from me,
Yeah.
I'm also dealing a lot of damage because I have a lot of cannons. And I was I don't know. I think I was. I don't want to say that I was the first. I never saw anyone do it before me, but it's not that complicated. But I think I was the first tamer that had poisoning. I was a poison tamer.
Okay.
Um, Useless anywhere but on the ocean at the time, and
Sure.
everyone used barbed prowlers back then because they
Yep.
put AOE bleeds on or whatever. And so the reason for the poisoning is to uh, because you can't like e-bolt things and do a lot of damage unless you're on their their boat or whatever. But you could do a lot of damage to pets and monsters and crew members with poisoning. And it also stopped them from healing themselves. Like, it doesn't stop you completely, obviously, but if you leave a poison someone, a greater heal only heals for like 11 or something like that instead of 50.
Yeah.
And so I'm like bleeding them to death with the barb prowler and chunking them slightly, like chunking them down with the cannons or whatever. And the goal with the poisoning is not to deal damage, because the poison takes a reduced damage just like everything else. But it's the status effect that stopped people from getting full heals off.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So it was really mitigation of healing, not extra damage. And so, yeah, I was doing a lot of damage to people and causing a lot of havoc with that boat. It got nerfed, and my heart broke when it got nerfed, and I tried to boat further, and I couldn't do it. And not that I didn't. Like, couldn't compete or whatever. I just went down to a large and still had those. I still had the fastest crew and stuff. I still had the fastest boat you could have. It just broke my spirit.
You were hitting with toothpicks instead of cannons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I deserved to be. That deserved to be nerfed.
I get it. Yeah.
But it was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah. No, I know that feeling of you're doing something and then it gets nerfed and you're like, yeah, it was deserved, but it also sucks. It's just like,
exactly,
like I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, I abused the shit out of rail mining. I mean, I'd be sitting there all day, every day, 3 miners or 3 lumberjacks going with a script, and when they were saying, yeah, we're gonna nerf it, it was like, yeah, I'm sure they will. It makes sense. And then they did, and it was like, yeah, that sucks. But it was also like, but I get it. It's about time they did it, So, a little different, but I get it. But boating's fun, man. I went through a stint where I was doing quite a bit of it. It was right when they started doing where you could flag pirate or civilian. Well, no, hold on. It was before that.
I quit before that because I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it was right before that, but it was still you'd lose an item if you got sunk, and then you'd ransom it back or what have you. And then shortly after that was when civilian or pirate. Pirate, you got more loot. Civilian, you got less loot, but you couldn't lose an item, if I remember right.
I kind of remember this.
Yeah.
I think this is right about exactly. I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah, and now I think it's just everybody is civilian. I don't know. I haven't voted in so long, but it's very popular. But you asked. I don't know why anybody would vote now. It's because it's literally well, I don't know anymore. But it's still. I think so. It's the best way to make gold. And so, because you get a good crew, you sell for 25 million, and suddenly you're rich.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
That's really it. You got all the rich people out there that are just boating day in, day out, have all the gold, and they'll pay anything for that same thing you were talking about, +5 speed or whatever.
Yeah. I remember when Diara first started boating. He boated for like 1 month, and if you know anything about Diara. People make jokes like first shift Diara, third shift Diara, which one? Like, this guy plays a lot for whatever reason. He in 1 month just boated nonstop till he got 30 links.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was the first person with 30 links, but he probably was pretty close.
Probably. Yeah.
Because at the time doubloons were counting equal with gold, and he got 30 links from boating, and then immediately reported it. And it immediately got nerfed.
That's hilarious.
It was one of the most brutal things I've ever seen a PVMer do, like, to get an advantage over other people.
That's that PVM PvP right there, dude. That's what that is.
Yeah. So Diamond actually became a decent PvPer, didn't he?
Yes.
I think near the end I started fighting. I ran into and I fought him in a dungeon or something, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Yeah.
This isn't the Diara I know. This guy's actually slinging.
So I attacked him once while he was doing T maps, and I couldn't kill him, and he was really good at interrupting me, and he was like, I don't have time for this. You're not gonna kill me. And we were at a stalemate, and he finally just we just let
That
it
is
be, you
the
know.
quickest way
Yeah,
historically to make me never stop attacking.
is that right there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you know how many times I've said that to people, and how
sure,
many times people have said that to me,
yeah,
and usually it's correct
yeah,
because if you're at a certain level in this game, it's not impossible, but it's really hard to kill somebody in the field 1v1 who doesn't want to die when they
yeah,
have all they can move on mounts, they can heal, they can use potions,
right.
they have line of sight around a house, they can do all these things. It's really hard to. I mean, you can
Hmm.
be in an arena with nothing, and it's still hard to kill somebody sometimes. Like so, it's really hard to die if you really don't want to die. So I get
Yeah,
it when they say that it means it, but it's becomes a challenge immediately.
yeah,
All right,
yeah,
and
yeah.
some of the funniest times ever of killing somebody is like when you do it like 10 seconds after they say some shit like that. So
Yes, you're not
that
wrong.
was
Yeah.
I will chase you till my power goes out at night or something like I don't know. I don't know
So
what
if I see you
so
out
I
there,
guess
don't say that if I'm trying to get away.
I don't PK. So it's
Sure.
been a long time since I actually PK'd. But if we're
Yeah.
like orange and we're fighting 1v1
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're like I'm busy, I don't have time for this. You shouldn't be out here orange then, brother.
That's true.
We're
That's true. I have a bad problem with that, but I do it because I enjoy it. Is because I always like getting in random scuffles, even if I'm PVMing or what have you. But I I keep my faction flag going, and I'm always red hand, even on my PVM thing. And it's odd how few people actually do attack, um, knowing that I'm red
That's because
hand.
you're a likable fellow.
Maybe I don't know.
I see you. I used to not recently. I've been playing much,
Sure.
but I used to see you um in Shadowspire
Hmm.
and stuff all the time, and I knew you were a thief.
Yeah.
You're somebody I could attack at the time, but you're a likable fellow, so there's no reason to do it.
Well,
And
thank
you start coming
you.
close to me, and I'm like,
Yeah,
man, if this motherfucker steals my rope and
that's right.
leaves, and I end up in a fight with somebody and I can't rope,
That's true.
we're gonna have beef.
That's it. That's it. So speaking of PvP, you got into arena. You used to win quite a bit of arenas. I know actually, the guild I'm in now, Evil, you won. They had a tournament in their guild house, and I believe you won that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, arena over the years. I mean, dueling. I get it. Different eras are different things. This is really the only era I really did a lot of good duels. I know there was one server I had like a heal mage. I don't know what server that was, but anyways,
Probably
what's
UF.
yeah, maybe. But arenas here, I'd say now it's like 16 to 25 people. 16 on a slow night, 25 on a busy night. People sign up for tournaments, and it's gotten pretty decent, I think. I mean, has it changed over the years?
Yeah, well, yes. Outlands PvP has actually changed it in its own right, which is super impressive. But like when you duel on UOF and UOR rule set, it's more of a spell play environment. It's almost all spell play.
Hmm.
Um, there are some people who use weapons, and then there are some people who want to duel with purple potions. Um, and so that changes things as well. But there's a lot of group of people who will just do because poison blocks healing. It's all spell play, so it's completely different than Outlands. Outlands T2A, you can't block healing with poisoning, so you have to like fully, and you
Yeah,
can't actually even block it at all, really, because you can't do anything more than the lowest level of poison in the arena.
yeah,
So it's all just damage stringing together and getting damage together. And I would say that the way that dueling has evolved since the beginning of Outlands is crazy because this isn't the first T2A server. This style of PvP has been around for 20 something years. People have played it and been vets at it and been pretty good, but it's always remained a constant. Like the combos and the ideas behind it, and has been a constant. But like the people that are at the top of the game right now are doing things that no one has seen before, like before the past couple years.
Sure.
I'm telling you, if you took the top 5 people right now and put them against the top 5 people in the first year of Outlands, who still had, they weren't new to PvP dueling. They've been from Ancorp and IPY and all that. They've got years of experience.
Yeah.
You put them against each other, and the people right now are going to wipe the floor with the people from back then, and it's kind of weird. And I know that'll raise some hackles or whatever, but they're just on a different level right now. It's kind of, I used to be all right. I mean, I've won a handful of tournaments. I never was the type to make every tournament. Like I've probably played in 50 tournaments total on Outlands, and I've been there for 6 years. Um, I've won 5. It's a pretty decent rate, I guess. Maybe I've done more than 50. Maybe it's 60 or 70. I don't know. It's been 6 years,
Yeah.
but I didn't regularly hit them up. I have no chance to win a tournament in the past year and a half, 2 years. Like, not only am I slower and worse, but these kids are way fuck. I say kids just because I'm old and it's just slang. But these guys are way better.
Yeah.
They're doing things that you didn't see back then. Like the whole flow of a fight. I just feel clunky when I fight people. I can
Yeah.
still hold my own. There's not too many people, if anyone, that like I can't take a win off of. I'm
Yeah.
competent
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever. But almost all of them that are in there regularly are going to beat me 5 to 10 times as many times as I beat them. It's just like, for me to win a tournament in today's age, I have to get paired, fortunately, for the first couple rounds, and then I just have to get really good rolls for multiple rounds in a row against people. They have to get
Yeah.
unlucky, and I have to get lucky, and that doesn't feel good. So I don't
No,
really do it much anymore.
you're not wrong. Um, I both love and I hate the RNG factor of it. So first off, let me rewind because I have heard, I've been involved in dueling. I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna be off because I'm terrible at remembering exactly when, but I'm gonna say 3 or 4 months, maybe 4 or 5 months. I've been pretty actively dueling, and I do go to most of the tournaments. I haven't won a 1v1 yet. I've gotten to the finals a handful of times. I have a 30, it fluctuates, 30 to 35% win rate in tournaments. And I have heard from both people that are actively there and then people that used to be there all the time and they just kind of peeped in and whatnot, that it's the dueling's way different. It's a lot more weapon based, just like what you said. It's a
Hmm.
lot more weapon based versus used to it was, you hit with the Halley and that's, you're good. And if you're like,
Yeah,
cycling weapons, then that's something, different or what have you. But it's just you're hitting those weapons on cooldown basically, and used to it wasn't like that. But man, it's been quite a bit of learning curve, and you say kids, but man, Angus is like, I don't think he's even 30, and he's regularly wins. I don't know. I think Blaine is, which is arena final boss. He changed his name because he's
yeah, Blaine.
winning on
He's
time.
making way. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
I think he's
great.
the best in the game right now.
He is phenomenal, phenomenal.
Yeah,
But
he put the time in. He put the time in.
oh
Like,
yeah,
traditionally speaking, like over the course of the last 15 years, if somebody's like, "Who's the goat dueler?" or
hmm
whatever,
hmm
there people are gonna say it's Pax. But I would put money on Blaine against Pax anytime. I think
sure.
Pax is very good, and Pax could win.
I'd like to see them
But
go. So like the money
I,
tournaments. I would like to
yeah,
see the final be a best of 3 or best of 5. I think that would be
yeah,
cool. Um,
yeah, especially in this era. But
yeah,
like,
because of the RNG is that was
uh,
my whole thing. Is it's funny. I almost beat Blaine, or excuse me, not Blaine, Nitrous, the other day, and it was just because, dude, my RNG was so perfect, dude. I was hitting everything. And I would have felt bad if I would have beat him, but I mean, I also would have been like, hell yeah, I beat him. You know what I mean?
you
But
know, I know exactly what you mean because I almost never log into Duel, and I occasionally do. And I don't know, a couple months ago, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I logged in and Blaine was there, and I've known Blaine for like he's from Siege. I've known Blaine for like
Okay.
20 years too.
Yeah.
Um, and we dueled, and I won the first. I won 3 in a row, and I wouldn't duel him anymore. And I haven't dueled him since, except for
Yeah.
the one time I was forced to in a tournament, and he beat me. He was like, and we're friends. I was just
Sure.
trolling him or whatever. But he's like, come on. I was trying new stuff out or whatever. I was like, oh, I'm 3-0. I'm good.
I'm good. I'm
I'm good.
off.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I don't need the inevitable to happen.
Yeah.
So
He's great,
yeah,
man.
no,
And
he's infinitely better than me.
and what I like about him and Nitrous and Angus, those are probably the top three right now. Well, inevitably, and then Mister Splinter. Um, but is that and this goes for 98% of the arena crowd. Is that you'll get your ass kicked by somebody, and if you ask them, hey, what could I have done different there, or whatever, they'll sit there and do 5 more rounds with you and coach you.
Yeah,
The arena
yeah.
community is the least toxic community of anything on Outlands, and I am not exaggerating at
You know
all.
what the most toxic thing to do in arena is, and I have been guilty of it in the past so many times.
What's
It's
that?
almost embarrassing.
It was.
Most toxic thing to do in arena is to lose and complain about your hit rate. Like
Hmm.
everybody doesn't deal with this. Like it's
Yeah.
not normalized across everything. Like you're
Yep.
just the most unlucky person or
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
They should not even put the stats up
No.
because
Everybody
people
clicks
immediately
right
go look
over
for
there.
it,
Yep.
click immediately for it to try to find a reason. Oh, that's why I lost, or this,
Yeah.
or that.
Yeah.
And everybody does it to some extent, but
Sure.
I think I did it a little too often and annoyed a few people with it. It's pretty lame.
It,
Vendetta does it a lot too, but Vendetta's 14 and I'm like a grown ass man. So that's
sure.
not a good comparison right there.
Yeah.
So,
That's
but
just
if
the
you're
rules of the
listening
game.
and
Yeah.
you're getting into arena, don't complain about your hit rate. We
Hmm.
all know about it. Everyone deals with it.
Hmm.
Just pack it up and click ready and fight again.
That's it, man. That's it. At the end of the day, you lose 1 arena credit, or 50 if it's a tournament. Which is equivalent to absolutely nothing.
You can pick it up off of one mob's corpse on a
Yeah.
dungeon that people didn't loot.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Gold is nothing.
but all of that being said, is that I have had a tremendous amount of fun in the arena, just both meeting people and learning, and that competitive nature. It's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed that competitive style of it. But speaking of, and I'm sure we'll talk more of Outlands and stuff, but I do, we're talking about competitive. You mentioned a little bit of some of it earlier, but you've been pretty busy yourself with another project that has some really cool competitive uh, parts to it as well, like kind of, well, Dota thing, paintball. Tell us a little bit about it.
Um, okay, so I think it was December. I don't know. I think it was around December that I got banned from Outlands Discord. I don't necessarily think that at that point in time, I should have been banned for what I was saying right there, and I was angry about it. But like hindsight, like we were talking at the beginning or whatever, it wasn't about that. It was about a string of behavior for a long time, and I probably deserved it. But the point I'm bringing this up for is uh, when you get banned from Discord on Outlands, it's like a shadow ban from the game. You the way they have their Discord set up, you can't talk to anybody in the medium that we talk to people in, and it makes it hard to trade. It's a lot, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I kind of stopped logging in and stopped playing. And then as a couple months passed, I realized it didn't look like I was going to get unbanned. Um, I decided to start building something on my own instead. because I love Outlands. Outlands is a wonderful server and a great team. But if I can't talk to people, I can't really play it. And so I started building my own server in the background. I've been in game dev for about 4 years now. Released a game. We put 4 years into development and over $500,000 in funding from investors and all kinds of stuff. It was my first enterprise in gaming, and it was really eye-opening and fun. And one of my partners from that game uh, is a former UO player. In fact, old school. On Chesapeake, there's a very well-known old PK guild, a couple of them actually, that he founded. One called Banana Boys and the other called Keepers of Chaos, KOC. And
Banana
they've
Boys is such a good name. Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, it's a good name, right? Yeah, and then Keepers of Chaos, and
Yeah.
he was well known at the time. He brought his guild to Siege. His entire guild got banned on like the first week of Siege
Oh
for
boy.
placing a castle because it was obviously duped or whatever.
Uh huh.
Um, just back in the day, and so I told him through this whole 4 year period that we were building this game. We talked about gaming and all kinds of stuff, and um, I told him, our next game is going to be a UO server, and he was like, "What? I love UO, but do people still play that?" And I was like, I showed him out, and I was like, "Yeah, people still play this. People love this game." And then I sort of talked to him about what's missing, what gaps can be filled in the UO community at the time, because Outlands is kind of a juggernaut and
Yeah.
has a little bit of a stranglehold on the community, and it's an incredibly good server, but it's a certain style and it has certain limitations that um, era limitations and other things that it can't it can't provide, and there are people that like those eras and stuff like that. But population is king when it comes to a UO server surviving. So you're gonna have to solve a bunch of problems at once, but it'd be worth doing. And so for the past 6 months, working with him and hiring several artists and several coders and our senior dev from the other team, we've been building a server in the background for a while, and we talked about Siege Perilous a lot in this podcast. It's sort of based around Siege Perilous. It even has a name reminiscent of it. It's called Perilous Legends,
Hmm.
uh, and it's uh, it's got a lot of unique features that other servers have never had or never seen, while harkening back to a Siege Perilous rule set and something that we discussed earlier. You have one account and one character. Um, your name follows you through everything you do. You have infinite number, you have to buy them, but infinite number of personalities. So you can have as many builds as you want. The closest thing you would think of would be Echoes from Outlands. But on Outlands, Echoes is a great thing, but you already have 15 characters. So it's really just used, in my opinion, to not have to work the character again and take advantage of already having links on a character and skills already worked and just experimenting with different things. This is putting all your different characters into one character, so it's a little bit of a different
Yep.
way to approach it or whatever.
Will it be
But
a
this
huge
means,
gold sink as well?
I mean,
We'll see.
you
Okay.
get one personality for free, and then the first one after that is 100K, and
Yeah.
then it doubles every
Okay.
time. So you're going to be able to get up to a reasonable amount of characters before you
Hmm.
are really
Tied down.
paying a lot for it. But that's
Cool.
end game. If you want to build more stuff, you want to build more stuff.
Yeah.
But the important part is you have one character, your entire reputation, everything you do is going to follow that. If you become a murderer, you are red on all your characters, even when you personality over to your crafter. Your crafter's red. Reds are like Siege, are allowed in town. Uh, there's no stat loss. Um, it's meant to be a player justice thing. Um, they do have penalty buying stuff from NPCs. It all costs 50% more to buy from an NPC, and you can only have one character and one account. And we have some pretty hefty security, so it's going to be really hard to get sneak a second account by us. I can
Yeah.
explain a little bit of that later, but so if you're red, you better have a blue friend who's going to buy you bulk regs, or it's going to get really expensive for you. But that's really kind of cool too, because it
Yep.
opens a market for blue people to build, bulk reg vendors and stuff. It's not just about
That
convenience now; it's about supplying reds who are kind of stuck paying
and that was a
this extra
thing
amount.
back in the day.
Yeah,
There would
yeah.
be vendors with like loadouts of here's 50 of each reg, here's 1,000 of each reg. You know what I mean? Like all that. That was really a cool thing, and they were priced more. And I can remember being younger and naive and being like, why would anybody pay this? I guess maybe because we're out in the wilderness or something, But then I came to realize it was right there at the Corpse Creek, or not Corpse Creek, Buck's Den gate, right there, and it was like, okay, now it makes sense because Reds and PvPers and all that. So, no,
I,
that's really cool.
it's on the Britannia map, but it's
Mhm.
highly upgraded. Like I said, we hired some pretty well-known, established mappers to upgrade our dungeons and our map.
Yeah,
So it's like beautified and changed. So it's familiar for the nostalgia, but also new and different. Um, you have the one character, like I said, there's no recall. We have compromised and made gate fourth circle spell. Still costs 40 mana and has a 4-second cast timer. The main two reasons for this are not that we want to gatekeep fast travel from non-mages, so that's why we changed everything you can do with recall. Normally, you can now do with gate, including use a rune book the way it is. But the point is, you're not supposed to escape. Just go around the corner of the house and escape from
they
a
call
fight in
out. Yeah,
1.5 seconds, or you're not supposed to run somebody into a trap and have a 10 squad of people just fucking appear out of midair. Like it's a lot harder to get away from a coordinated recall in than it is to a coordinated gate in, because they spill out a couple at a time from a gate because they're trying to get in the gate together.
yeah,
Um, and the gate pops up and gives you a visual warning in the first place, so you can
yeah.
still like hide the gate and be tricky, but it's a different
It adds a dynamic for
feel.
sure. Yeah,
Dynamic, that's the word
totally.
I'm looking for, a different
Yeah,
dynamic. And
definitely.
so we're trying to prevent that kind of recall ganking and escaping fights behavior. Um,
That's
but
exciting. Yeah.
what we have a couple PvP events. Like Outlands has 4 events on cycle. We have events on cycle too. Um, we have a couple that have never been seen before in UO. Like everyone's got like traditional capture the flag or king of the hill stuff or whatnot. Um, but we have a fully blown MOBA like Dota on a pixel almost identical MOBA map island arena.
Mhm.
Um, and you have at launch, there's 10 different characters. You choose a hero. You go through the whole draft mode. With When you sign up for the event, it'll take you go to the waiting room. It'll take you and 10 people or 9 other people to the draft. You'll draft your heroes like you would in League or Dota, and then you will play a normal Dota match with all the creep waves, all the towers, all the buildings and the jungle and neutral creeps and everything you can think of. Every
And do you
single
buy upgrades
courier.
and stuff like that too? Do you
Yeah,
buy
there's an
upgrades?
item shop right there
Okay.
with
Wow.
with with over 100 items and builds and we use a lot of the traditional items you would see in Dota or League or whatever, but we also used all of the things like Hat of the Magi and Ornament of the Magician and stuff like that,
So
and we
like
made it
ties
make
into
sense
some of
for
the
them.
UO stuff. That's really
Yes,
cool. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
fun. Yeah.
has
So you'll get a
all that
nostalgia hit
stuff.
from that, and you'll feel like you're playing Dota in UO. That's really
You're
cool.
playing Dota and you at the same time. You have 4 abilities. You get experience and gold on last hits. You level up. Uh, you have 6 item slots, and you have all kinds of items that do different things. Teleport you, turn people sheep stick, turn people into sheep, polymorph them, all
Wow.
kinds of stuff like that. It's super cool. It takes 25 minutes
Hmm.
like a normal event, 25, 30 minutes to resolve. There's an elo system in it, a point reward system with an absolutely baller hue reward that can only be gotten from that. It's so baller that it's animated, but
Oh,
it's got
cool.
it's got this animated glow to it. It's like it's tastefully done. It's not like, a big like a strobe light or something.
I'm glad
It's
you
got
said
this.
that. I'm glad you said tastefully done because sometimes glow can I mean because you know how retail UO's gotten, right? It's like
Yeah, I
little.
don't mean, I don't think you understand what I mean. I don't mean like it's neon glow. I
Okay.
mean like it morphs visually. It's
Okay.
an animation
Cool.
going
Yeah.
from a dark shadow to a deep blood red and back.
Oh, sweet.
Like
Okay. Yeah.
slow like a heartbeat, like a slow breathing. It's
Nice.
it's beautiful.
Very
Um
cool.
we built that ability into our CUO, and the first thing I did with it was create some really cool hues, but it's been also applicable for things like boss fights.
Uh-huh.
When you get into a boss and the boss enrages and he starts flashing and changing and like those type of warnings that you're used to seeing in later era games like WoW and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
So
a lot of cool stuff like
it
that.
have some cool mechanics and stuff like that is what you're getting at for bosses?
Oh, oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
For sure. Um, It's UOR era based, which is the era after Outlands, and it's kind of one of the gaps I was just talking about earlier. Outlands has it would be suicide to make a UO server that was T2A. Like, there's no point. There's no reason to. Outlands has got it covered. But
Mhm.
UOR is different enough, and a lot of people really do like it. And I know you could go through the Discord in Outlands for the past 6 years. So many people have been like, "Can you turn this to UOR?" But Lucius really likes
So
T2A,
what's
and
the difference of those by there? I'm not sure. I really don't know. But I have
okay,
seen
so
people talk about UOR quite a bit.
in UOR, poison blocks healing for
Okay.
starters.
Yeah.
So you have to cure before you heal at all. It doesn't just reduce.
Forever
If you're
was
poisoned,
UOR, correct? Forever
yeah,
was.
forever was UOR. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like forever, but a little one patch after forever. We are published 16, not published 15.
Uh huh.
We have champ spawns. There's like 11 different champ spawns, and they drop power scrolls, but they don't drop them in 20s, 10s, 5s, 15s. They drop them in ones, and they're quadranted, which means if you were to get a +1 swordsmanship, it would be one of 4 colors. If it is green, it means you can only eat it between 101 to 105. What this does is not allow some no life elite guild to lock down the server for 2 weeks and then get to 120 everything and then not have to, a short period of time they spend all their effort to get everything, and now they have an advantage over everybody on the server. It's
Right.
more of a slow build into it, but it has but the PvP scrolls are actually in the game. Um, Not a lot of servers. In fact, I can't. It's been many, many, many years since I've played a non-AOS server that a UOR based server that allowed PvP power scrolls. AOS always has them, um, but for some reason, some server came out and said, "Hey, we shouldn't have major eval, weapon skills, tactics, all those things in PvP and scrolls. So it's just all taming and crafting and stuff like that." Which
Yeah.
is, I understand that, but the point of a champion spawn is to be contested. It's contested Feluca content. It's the end game content with dynamic PvP that you are fighting over something meaningful.
Okay.
Now, if you take away the PvP scrolls for progression from the PvPers who would contest you. Now they're just coming and picking on PvMers for gold, for taming scrolls. They're not progressing themselves. If you add the PvP scrolls back in but make them balanced like that, now they have something to fight for because they need to progress, because they need to keep up with the other PvPers. It's a slight advantage to
Yeah, yeah.
be 120 versus 100. It's not an unassailable advantage, but it's worth having,
It's
right?
enough to
And
make you be
so
like, I need that.
yeah,
I'm
I'm
playing
gonna
enough.
want
I
to
need
do
that.
that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna want to compete over that, and that's organic PvP, not scheduled no loot PvP. That is PvP for stakes, and it creates this environment where guilds don't just call themselves PVM guilds or PvP guilds. They have to have a little bit of everything, because if you just bring PvPers to do the spawn and you get raided by a bunch of people, even if they don't beat you, but they keep you busy long enough, you've lost the spawn because it just degrades.
Yeah.
And you wasted all your time. You have to have a group of people that will be able to finish the spawn because they're the PVMers, while you have the people who are interested in fighting defending them. And it creates a more uh, interwoven community where people are playing alongside of the people that, you know, not all servers they would, because they all benefit from it together, and I think we could all have a lot more fun if we, started not looking at other playstyles as enemies
Yeah.
and just, playing together.
Right.
So I think champion spawns have always been one of the best organic PvP things in the game. We have a
Yeah.
couple other organic PvP things from that we'll talk about in a little bit that are crazy, crazy good as well, that are custom.
Yeah.
But champ spawns are like a major driving factor of that. And most champ spawn servers are AOS, and those are able to be done by PvPers because of necromancy. I don't know if
Right.
you ever
It's just
played
like a
AOS or whatever.
solo one solo guy can do a whole champ
Yeah,
spawn, which is
yeah,
cool,
yeah,
but
and
it's
it gets
also lame.
cheesy.
Yeah,
It's
it's
lame,
like cool to
lame.
see one time and do one time, but then after that it's like, dude, if I want to
Yeah,
play this game solo, like if I want to play a single
I
player
play
game,
Diablo
I'll
or
go
or
play
something
Final
like that.
Fantasy or like a
Yeah, yeah,
real
yeah.
single player game versus I'm sorry, I love Ultima Online, but there is not even the slightest bit of me that wants to play it by myself.
No, like
You know,
100%. The
like,
reason to play Ultima Online
yeah,
is the online, is
yeah,
the people that you're
yeah,
playing with, whether
right.
against or with.
Yeah.
It's the people.
Yep.
If if I wanted to play a solo player game, I'd do my third run through of Expedition 33.
There you go.
Like that's
Yeah.
the best game I've played in 10 years, and
Listen,
I don't have
I
fun.
have to play that. I am only the first chapter in. It was my travel game, and
What?
then I know, man. I've got to.
You actually played it and put it down?
It wasn't easy. Here's what happened, man. I had it through Xbox, whatever. You know, the Xbox Live, I think it is. Is that what it's called? The gaming service, and it's like I had it through that on special, and then I realized, holy shit, this thing is expensive as hell, not a chance. And then I just haven't purchased it on Steam yet and picked it back
Brother,
up. But
brother.
I've heard that that did get Game of the Year, I believe.
Yeah, it got
Yeah,
Game of the Year, and then they took it away because they used AI in some placeholders
that's
during
so dumb.
development. Do you
That's
know
so
how
dumb, dude.
ridiculous gamers are with that? Like,
Yeah,
get over yourselves.
dude, it's
It's
ridiculous.
literally the best game I have played. It's probably the best game I've ever played.
So
I will
that's
only
like
say
shunning.
last.
That's like shunning Linkin Park for being electronica. You know what I mean? For like using a computer for music, right? Like,
I love me some Linkin Park.
well, that's exactly what it is. That's if somebody was to say screw Linkin Park because they didn't use nothing but guitars and piano. You know what I mean? Like they used a computer. Incubus was the same. They used some weird like
It's even
computer stuff.
worse.
It is, but it's just like I don't know. The whole like screw AI argument really, man, that will get me going, dude. Because
It, so
use it,
so
use it.
yeah,
It's
the
at our
reason.
fingertips. Why wouldn't we?
So just look at Expedition 33. They almost didn't make it. They were indie as can be. They made the best game ever. If you when you finish that game, you're gonna be like, wow, this was a journey. This
Okay.
was crazy. The
Okay.
storyline is so wild,
Yeah.
so wild and so good.
For
I haven't
those
played
that come
a game
after
like that.
us.
Oh man, you don't have a
Yeah.
clue when you
Yeah.
get into it. It's so awesome.
Okay. All right. I will
The
play it. I will play it. I will pick it up right after this through Steam, and I
so
will play it.
so indie developers, what is the biggest pitfall for an indie developer? I mean, I this may be less obvious than I think it is because I have
I
experience now at this point,
I
but
would say
what do you
money.
think?
I would say
Yes,
money and
yes,
marketing. Yeah. Yeah.
yes. Money is the biggest obstacle for an indie
And
developer
AI
because it
helps
costs a
solve
lot
that,
of money to
right?
do this.
Yeah.
Big time, not
Yeah.
only in the speed at which you can do things, but it cuts costs dramatically. Like I told you earlier, we built our card game over 4 years with a team of like 9 developers.
Hmm.
It cost over $500,000. I could build from scratch that card game today
Yeah.
in like 3 months for like
A couple thousand.
$2,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And
And
so
you know what? That does.
sure, you want to be like these artists, they deserve their money, and all these people deserve their money. Sure, but do
Yep.
you want people who have true passion and true, vision to build something really cool to have the chance to do it? So you have
Uh huh.
these options. You don't have to play it. If it's not good, don't play it. If you
I
don't, it's don't watch it, don't listen to it, don't play it. More options is not bad if you know how to filter. But like,
I
do you
could
just
not
want to be
agree
stuck
more,
with the
dude.
same? Do you want to just be stuck with the same 4 game companies forever,
There it
feeding
is.
you exactly what the formula is?
There it is, right there, man. Because the same thing that keeps indie companies from creating stuff money is also the exact same thing that is why gamers are so pissed at games today is money.
Yep.
Because you get games like Cyberpunk that release way too early. They weren't ready. It was a piece of shit game, piece of shit launch. And now, 10 to 15 years later, it's a great game, but nobody knows that. And it's too late to gone. You know what I mean? Like you get relapses of the exact same World of Warcraft every single expansion with just a couple cutesy uniforms in the Blizzard store, and it's the same game though. Look, I'm guilty. I buy the expansion every time and I play it for 3 4 months and have the greatest 3 to 4 months of my life. But then there's just nothing to keep me going, and I just don't play until the next expansion. But it's the same thing. Whereas it's like, okay, this works. We can add this, and we project our earnings to go up 10 per. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's the same crap. But that's I didn't know that about Expedition 33, and now I'm gonna. It makes me want to play it and support them
Oh,
even
it
more.
is so. I don't know if they can ever catch. If they capture lightning in a bottle so incredibly well, I
Yeah.
don't know if it's possible, but I really, really want to find out because it's got the best soundtrack I've ever heard. It's got it's a good genre, RPG, story-driven RPG with some action elements in it and whatnot. But the storyline is so rocking. It's so deep. And there's just a twist in it when you get to it. You're going to be like, didn't see that coming.
All
That
right.
is wild. So
All
you'll
right.
have a great time. I beat it in like a week's time, and it's like a real life week, which
Hmm.
is kind of crazy because it's like 60 hours to beat or something like that.
Okay.
So I guess I spent half of that week all playing
It was
playing
fun. You know, I
Ultimate.
really enjoyed the like every boss fight was a little different, or every monster really, where like the
Yeah,
perfect
yeah.
parry mechanic and stuff like that. I thought that was so unique and fun, and the graphics were cool. I mean, yeah, it was cool, man. I don't have anything bad to say about it
You remember
other
Final Fantasy 3?
well, 3 SNES America or 6 Japan, because I get castrated for that like all the time. I still call it
Yeah,
3.
yeah, yeah.
I call it
It's
3.
3 SNES.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
man. All right,
I know
good.
exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah,
Terra,
yeah,
Terra and
yeah.
Satan and all them.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's very much like that in that, remember the materia system and
Yeah,
how it's very much like that
awesome.
uh as far as the custom mobility goes.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I
Back.
don't know where
Back.
I left off, but I tangented
Well,
for
you
quite a
were
bit there.
no. That's good. That's good. You were gonna
I just
talk
get
about.
passionate about things. Sorry.
I'm into it, man. Don't worry. I'm into it. So tell me a little bit more about Perilous Legends.
Oh yeah.
And the you said there was a couple others, like game modes. The little
Oh yeah.
PvP things and stuff.
We talked about the donut mode, which is wholly involved and super crazy. There's actually
Yep.
a post about it on Reddit with a lot of pictures. People can see if they want to go look.
Now, is that the
Um,
Ultima Online Reddit, or did you make
yeah,
your own, or is it
The
both?
Ultima,
Okay, perfect.
the Ultima Online.
Okay.
Yeah, and another mode is a paintball mode that's like Fortnite, where it's a battle royale, and there's three different modes. There's FFA, team deathmatch, and capture the flag. It works really well with capture the flag, but works well with all of them. Um, where you're in an arena again, and there's treasure chests everywhere, like you would think, and they have different guns, items, weapons, crazy things in them. All of it skill shot. There's like lightning guns, chain guns, all kinds of things, and all of it skill shot with ammo. It's literally
That's
like
awesome.
playing Fortnite in UO. Both of these modes have full blown announcers in them. Like when you get on kill streaks and stuff like that, graphics pop up, and it has global announcers that everybody hears, like you see from those games. It's super wild.
Yeah.
Uh, it's been crazy to build. It's super fun.
Hmm.
Um,
I've
there's
always
other more.
wanted skill shots. Like I've always thought, hey, it's cool to put Akasha on last target, load E-bolt, drop. You know what I mean? But it would be
Yeah,
really cool if you're running and my mouse or whatever, I don't know what it is, but my mouse is where the E-bolt's gonna go, and and I'm just leading you
you
just
could
bare.
dodge it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to lead somebody
Yes.
yeah.
How
I
cool
have
would
a
that
there's
be?
a mortar. There's a mortar gun. It's a
Uh-huh.
big bow, and you target up to 64 tiles away, and
Okay.
it has a 3-second travel time, and it hits an area of like 6x6 AOE. And so
Okay.
you can shoot farther than you can see. You can scroll up with CUO, right? And you can see the map, but you
Uh-huh.
can't see the mobiles.
Oh, so your
Because we have,
CUO is the main, like,
yeah, we
whatever it's
have a
called,
fork.
client.
We forked our own version of CUO. So
Perfect.
we use CUO, but we have our
Yeah.
own things in it.
Yeah.
Um, so we have like fog of war, like
Okay.
normal fog of war. So if you don't vision, you don't see the mobiles and stuff. But if someone's escaping through the bushes from you, you can fire the mortar and lead them. It does quite a bit of damage.
Hmm.
You time it correctly, and you kill them from
So they're
30
chasing you,
tiles away.
or
Or
maybe they're
yes,
chasing
yes,
you and you just
I've
launch
killed
it.
people. Yes,
That's
I've
so
launched
cool.
it in front of me in a line and had people chasing me right into it.
So
There's
would
so
you
many outplayed characters. There's a flashbang.
would you
We have a
know
literal flashbang.
would you
It's
know that they
insane.
have a mortar, or would it just be like, oh shit, I guess they had a mortar?
No, you yes, if
Yeah, yeah.
you play the game enough, you can recognize the weapon that's in their hand.
Okay, so that's really cool because
Yeah.
then that adds another dynamic of like you're chasing
Yes.
somebody and
Yes.
you're like, okay, I can see
It's
he's got
super
the
skill
mortar,
based.
so I got to be careful. He
Yeah,
might
it's
mortar
super
me.
skill based.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay.
There's buffs for speed, buffs items to teleport,
Yeah.
there's grenades, there's turrets, there's mines, there's decoys, there's a flashbang that you throw. Like you're saying, someone's chasing you, you can
Yeah.
throw a flashbang right in front of you
What does that do?
and step right over it. If they're looking at a 180-degree arc, like if they turn away from their body away from it before it blows up,
Uh-huh.
they won't get flashbang. But if they're 180 degrees in front of it looking at it, it turns their entire screen white, and they hear the
No
buzz sound,
way.
ding,
Oh, that's
like you
crazy.
would in Counter Strike. You get flashbang. It's insane. It's
Wow,
super
dude.
insane.
Imagine just throwing. Oh, that's so cool, dude. Yeah, yeah. I'm just
I
thinking of
really was
throwing that
like,
to
man,
like
this
a
would be
pile of
really
people.
cool in UO. And then
Yeah.
I thought about it, and I was like, I don't know, man. I don't want to get in a fight with a
Yeah.
20-on-20 fight and just
Y-
flashbang
It'd
people
be
until I die.
chain.
That'd be annoying.
It'd be
That'd be
chain
stupid.
flashbangs. It'd be like, all right, Akasha, throw
It'd be
yours.
stupid.
3, 2, 1,
Yeah,
Pwn, throw your. Yeah. But
it would be awful. But it's
yeah,
super fun in this mode.
yeah, yeah. That's sweet, dude. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so you've got like mechanical bosses. You've got Dota PvP game, paintball PvP game. When I say mechanical bosses, I mean bosses that have mechanics. You got champ
Yeah, yeah,
spawns
yeah.
with PvP scrolls enabled, meaning tactics, magery, eval, which I like. I like that because you know what? To your point, um, I had a. You probably know him, Ansem? Yeah, he's in your guild, Bane.
Yeah,
Uh,
I know Ansem since
yeah.
he was like 13.
Oh, okay, great. So
Yeah.
he said something that proved to me that you have people that are only PvPing and they don't do any of the PVM. And he was like, I just don't PVM because it doesn't progress my character in PvP, and PvP is all I care about in this game, and my
No,
growth.
I've played 100% because I've played recently in the past, year. I've
Yeah,
played an AOS server with Ansem, and he'll PVM there because he needs the power scroll.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, no, there's no reason for a PvPer on Outlands to PvP,
yeah,
other than they're bored or grief, or they want, or they have. Uh, I think I said that wrong. A PvPer on Outlands to PVM,
yeah. I get what you meant. Yeah, yeah.
unless they like all sides of it. But most
Sure.
people stay in their lane for their play style or whatever. There are people that do a little
I,
bit of everything,
I
but
like all
they're
of it, but I will tell you, I go in phases. You know what I mean? Like I'm more
100%. I took a
like
year off and played with Onyx. I agree with you.
yeah, like I will focus more on PVM and I'll do some PvP, or I'll focus on PvP and I'll do a little bit of PVM kind of thing. And that's really kind of where I, yeah, that's it. Like I'm mostly PvPing right now, and then I'm dabbling a little bit in PVM.
For
But it's
sure.
but I completely agree with you. It's definitely lopsided one way or the other. Um,
We took a we took a couple systems from two of my favorite non-UO games ever to be made.
mhm.
Darkball, which I think is probably the best pure PvP game that's ever been made for
I've heard
MMOs.
that. I never played Darkfall.
It's incredibly good, but at the same time, super hardcore, a bit grindy, and the skill ceiling is so high that if you don't get good, you're just going to be demolished over and over and over. And so that's not really good for keeping a population. But they have some really good systems. We have their siege system, we have two systems from them. We have the seed system. So we have something called hamlets, where we have four hamlets in the game, and they're basically like two screen big villages, like very small village that has walls around them and two guard towers that have guards at the top that zap you when you try to raid it. Inside the hamlet are the only source of the highest ore and the highest wood in the game in what's called a mine and a grove, and those slowly rebuild charges over time. So if you control the hamlet, you control that source.
That's
It can be
crazy.
rated by people.
Yeah,
There's even jewelry that you can craft that will reduce the damage that these towers are zapping you for. But to get into the thing, you have to tear down their walls. You have to break the walls with siege hammers or battle spikes or cannons, and then come in, and then you can raid that. You kill the people inside the town and raid the grove and the mine, and then there's also an enchanting table in there. Enchanting and skinning are two skills that I added to the game that are you would know. I mean, every MMO they're self-explanatory what they do.
sure.
Skinning provides materials for enchanting. Um, you make your weapons better, but these weapons are everything is it's full loot, just like Outlands. So you can invest in getting better weapons, but if they die, you're going to drop them. So people's PvP loot suddenly starts becoming more interesting too. Did he enchant his chest? Is the weapon enchanted or whatever? So it's
Okay,
a
yeah.
skill, and you can only do it at an enchanting table, and currently they're only in the hamlets. So you have to be allied to or control in the guild that controls the hamlet.
Now,
The way,
could that guild that controls it enchant, we'll say, a chest and then put it on a vendor and sell it?
yes, of course,
Okay, I like
yes,
that. That's good.
absolutely,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. It's important to hold these hamlets. Well, guild can only hold one hamlet at a time, so no one giant gluttony guild is going to control the server, right? But uh, but to control a hamlet, you have to siege it. and you have to go to, if it's already controlled, you siege it from an NPC, right? You automatically get it. The first people who pay for the stone can claim the hamlet. And now to change ownership, another guild has to siege you. So they have to go to the banker and buy a siege stone, which is like 500k. It's a lot of money on an early server. Um, and then they go to the hamlet, and within 100 tiles of the hamlet seed stone, they have to place their seed stone. And it gives a global announcement to everybody and to the guild every 30 minutes for the next 24 hours that they are under siege. Now, the defending guild, anywhere between 12 and 24 hours, they have to give at least 6 hour notice. They get to set the time that the siege is going to happen, so that somebody can't come siege you at 3 o'clock in the morning and
that's good.
lose your hamlet.
Did you
right?
ever play Shadowbane?
Yes.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course,
Do you
yes.
remember doing that? Waking up at 3
This is very much it's very much learned behavior from Baning and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yes. So once it goes off, that the defenders have to keep the people out of their hamlet and keep them from destroying their hamlet seed stone for up to 2 hours. However, they can end it at any time by venturing out of the hamlet and destroying the seed stone from the attackers. And this is where politics come in, and teams are hiring mercenary guilds to show up and help fight with them. And some other groups are just scroaching on the outside, looking to pick off people. It becomes server-wide events where sieges are going down, and you're trying to take control of this extremely valuable property that's both prestigious, fun, and profitable for your guild to have. And it's like the main PvP factor for Darkfall. And we've put it here into UO, almost exactly the same mechanics. And it's super, super cool.
And so that was pretty successful on Darkfall, though. Like, I mean, it wasn't
the most fun videos that you'll see on Darkfall videos on YouTube are all siege videos, and the most fun memories you have in that are these massive endeavors of trying. It's what factions should be. Factions should not be guarding sigils for 24 hours. Nobody can do that anymore. Yeah. And factions should not be just running flags for 30 minutes and then logging off until somebody steals your flags from you. Yeah. I'm not throwing shade.
No, it is what it is.
That's what it is, and it shouldn't be that way. This is that done in a way that's meaningful and organic and has stakes and involves everybody, and that's cool. So it's more like guild factions, but I would say it's like between guild wars and blood feuds and factions all wrapped into one, but it's meaningful, and it's gonna happen. People are gonna want the resources that you have, so you're going to have to defend yourself. You're gonna have to build alliances. It's super cool.
I like that. I like that. That was so like a different game, but EverQuest on Ralph Zek, again, going back to that server, just because it was you had to PvP, otherwise you shouldn't have been on that server, right? But you had to PvP, and it created this wild dynamic of, we're fighting a boss, and all of a sudden the opposing guild comes in, and it's like, okay, half this group is the PvP. You know what I mean? Like, it just created this wild dynamic that was so much fun.
Chance spawns.
And it was
That's
just
what guilds have to do for that.
It was just so much fun, and I honestly, I miss that. It still happens. It happens on Outlands. Don't get me wrong, it does, but it's a lot different because then you have on Outlands. I say it all the time. It's like we're playing a PvP game, but there's still that core group of people on Outlands, and it's just the way the world is now, I guess. But that will argue that and be like, nope, this is a PvP game, and if you're PvPing around the boss or whatever, or you're PKing people, you're just a dick. And it's like, dude, it's fucking Ultima Online. Shut the fuck up, dude. You know what I mean? Like, it's
there's no gold cursor on Outlands. I'll give them. I'll give I'll give them that for sure. They always
No,
kept it
yeah.
a fluke rule
Yep.
set, and
Oh, and
that's
yeah,
you have no
that's
right to do anything on Outlands and not have to defend yourself, and
agreed.
that's
And
how it should be.
that is definitely not a bash on Outlands by any means, because it's
No,
more the
it's
player
not.
base I'm bashing, because I've seen Owen many times say there will never be another anti-red patch. Like I'm tired of helping blues that won't help themselves. You know what I
a
mean?
hundred
And I
percent. You
respect that
don't.
completely.
That's the whole mindset behind Siege Perilous rule set is that if you're red, you're committed to being red. You're not just like griefing on your alt or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you really have to play the diplomatic side and the politics side of it. And it should be a player justice thing. You should have a hard time as red, not because of the mechanics, but because of the players who are sick of your shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could be as elite as you want to be. You could get the best 5 PvPers on Outlands together as a red. If they go into uh, the bottom of I don't even know title tome, whatever. What I don't know what your big dungeon is right now. If
Yeah.
they go
Title
into
tone
the
time,
bottom of
whatever. Yeah.
that, they're gonna kill a bunch of people on the first wave. But if they don't leave immediately, they're all dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all
Yeah.
the response is gonna kill them
Mm-hmm.
every
Yep.
time.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. It shouldn't be mechanics protecting people. It should be people protecting people. And
Yeah.
that's the whole mindset there. So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Allianz does a good job with that for the most
Yeah. They
part. I
do.
think they are a little too heavy handed on the drawbacks and the lockouts and stuff like that. But it's better than stat loss and like at the same time when the majority of your players aren't
Mm-hmm.
PvPers, you owe it to your player base to protect them on some level. So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I see both sides,
I do too.
and I think I know Outland has done a tremendous job, and sometimes they'll put out changes where I'm just like, what? But then the forefront of me is like, they haven't done me wrong yet. It all
I
turns
would
out okay.
never.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think Owen would have a heart attack if he heard this, but I would never change anything about Outlands. It's because after building games, working on 3 different projects or whatever for the last 4 years, um, and being the community manager of one of them at the same time, what a wild trip that was. Uh, you just get told by people nonstop all day long that
you're
they
doing
should be
wrong.
doing this or that.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm guilty of this. I
sure.
can't imagine how many times I've told Lucius or Owen, you should do this, you should do that, whatever. It's their project. They should do whatever the
Yeah,
fuck they want to do. And if you like it, you'll play it. If you don't, you won't. But you should never they have passion for their project. You should never tell
yeah,
somebody you should give them feedback on balancing and stuff like that, but you never tell them not to like. I would never tell Lucius to be UOR anymore. Like I did in the early days before I understood, but at this point he loves T2A. This
yeah,
is
yeah,
his server.
yeah,
It shouldn't be UOR because this is his thing. So
yeah,
yeah, no, I don't want to tell anybody what they should be doing like that.
yeah.
I don't
No,
think
I
anybody should.
I agree. I remember when Chivalry and Necromancy came out, and I was just like, when it was announced, I was like, what? Really? We're going down this route? And then it came out, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is actually really cool. But I completely understand your point of you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, and it's again, it just like what you said, it's their
The
thing. Seems
The
to be
response
working
is no,
great.
you should do it.
Yeah, yeah,
If
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
if you want that, the
Yeah.
tools are out there. You should go build it.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. That is 100% it. You, um, okay, so here's this is kind of a two thing, and you take it where you will. But I can remember
Oh,
watching. No, it's easy. I can remember watching you stream Outlands. I enjoyed your streams. Whether you were PVMing and getting your. I remember watching one where you were live for a long time. Like you were like, I'm finishing this 29th to 30th link, and
that
you
was
got
crazy.
yeah, and you kept all your loot. You took all the gold out every run. I mean, you did it diligence, and then you count. I don't. Here's the part that got me, dude. I don't know how the hell you did this, but after you get your 30th link, you went back and on stream you sorted out all your loot like a madman, dude. It's
Because
like
I've
it's
been building
not
up this stack of loot for like
sure
30
30
hours.
hours.
It was like
Yeah.
a 32-hour stream
God.
straight from
Yeah.
zero. At the beginning of the stream, I went from 28 to 29th link. And then the end of the stream, I was sorting loot from after hitting 30
Wait,
link.
you did 2 links in that time?
No. I'm
Oh,
saying
okay.
I
At the
had
beginning of
no
29.
credit in
Yeah.
the 30th link at
Okay.
all.
Yeah, yeah.
I flipped from the end of it
Yeah.
to that or whatever. I only got
Okay.
it done because Crawl Hive A was like some server mechanic bonus for XP for the week.
Uh-huh.
I
And then
was
you had
in
your guild.
Evil at the time.
Okay.
They po- and they popped multiple things for me
Yeah.
to get extra whatever. So I was getting
Sure.
massive experience, but still, I can't remember how much you have to farm, but I think it's like 8 mil or something. It was something crazy,
Mhm. Yeah.
something stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no, that was a long stream.
I won't forget. Like I was there for you hitting the 30th, and I was like, hell yeah, you know what I mean. And then I figured you'd just be like, all right, guys, I earned it. I'm going to sleep. I'll sort this out. Tell you guys what we got. But here's a picture. Here's what it all is. This is what it looks like. But no, you went through and you were like, okay, that's probably 30K. That's probably 60. You know, and I was like, this guy's fucking insane.
You know what's embarrassing? I
Huh.
think that stream and that point was when I learned that not only was I sorting it, but I was sorting it by hand. I
Hmm.
think I was dragging each scroll to the book and shit. I think someone in that stream was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm putting it, he's like, click the book and
Oh, that's great.
add all scrolls. And I did that and
Yeah.
I was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. I've been
That's great.
dragging scrolls like a madman for months.
Yeah, yeah. I learned just recently. Now it's a newer thing, but you can left click somebody and click trade now, so you don't have to start trades with like a bottle or
Yeah,
anything. That's a new one.
that's been for a while
Yeah,
because that was before it. But yeah, I
there you
remember
go.
when I learned that
Yeah,
because you're always
um,
afraid of dropping a check on the ground.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Remember those guys that would sit at the
Yeah,
campfire?
with the scavenger.
Yes, yes. Probably
Yeah,
the richest people on the server, dude.
they're fishing, the campfire fishing.
That's it, dude. But yeah, so you streamed that. Um, I mean, are you planning on streaming again? I mean, I'm sure you're planning on streaming this new server. I mean, what's
I'm not
your
gonna have any time to
okay?
play,
That
dude.
makes
The
sense.
the thing I don't play a lot anymore. Like, when you spend a lot of time building, you don't spend a lot of time playing. In
Makes sense.
fact, I'm gonna take. There's gonna be streaming. I'm gonna hire. I'm
Hmm.
gonna like we hired streamers for Here's a Hold'em. I'm gonna hire people. I've already messaged Jonah
Hmm.
and some other people. We'll see who wants to get sponsored and stream some or whatever because streaming is the best. I learned from Here's a Hold'em that streaming is hands down the best advertisement for your indie game. If
Agreed.
you
Yeah.
put out, we've done Reddit ads, we've done YouTube videos,
Well,
we've
streaming and
done
YouTube videos.
Facebook ads, we've
Yeah.
done TikToks, we've done all those things. None of them have the return on investment that having a audience watch somebody they already like play your game
Yeah.
and then be like, "What is that?" Like, so we will definitely work with streamers for sure.
Yeah.
But it won't be me streaming because I'm
Makes sense.
busy building and we have high high expectations and motivation for this. Like we have investors and um, we plan on marketing this to. We haven't really talked about the most major part of the server yet. I was kind of saving it for last. I had a couple more little mechanics that were pretty cool that I was talking about. That I was going to
Wherever
tell
you
you.
want to take it,
The,
wherever you want to take it. You want
I
to
was
start
going to tell you
those?
the
That's
thing
fine.
that puts us apart from every UO server that's ever been made by a long
Let's
shot,
go
and
for it.
why we're going to be able to bring people in.
Yeah.
But the last mechanics, I guess, that I'll talk about right now, from Arcade, my other favorite game, there's something called trade packs where you grow materials in specific zones and you build certain recipes for certain locales, and they become these valuable packs that you have to transport, and you can't just like recall. You have to slow walk them or transport
I
them to
love that.
other areas and
Yeah.
get and you're visibly carrying them, and if you die, the people can take them and stuff like this. It's a risk versus reward system that has many steps involved in it. You don't necessarily, you could just make money growing the materials in your house and selling them to the people to make the packs or whatever. But it's the
Mortal
most,
Mortal Online 2 had something similar, whereas like you'd buy the recipes in a certain town, and then I could take it from that town to another town and sell it
yeah,
for a huge
yeah,
amount. Like the further
yes,
away it was, the more I could sell it
yes,
for.
yeah.
And so I
They're
made a
copying
lot of
our
money just
things.
doing that. It was
Yeah,
so fun. Yeah, I liked that. That
yeah,
was a great mechanic.
and so that mechanic works for bringing them to the different cities and getting money. But the most profitable thing in the entire game is to build these trade packs and then take them to Tortuga Island, which is in the far east island of the map. Just like Outlands and a lot of other servers, the ocean is lawless, but islands aren't. But Tortuga is lawless, and every 4 hours, a black market gold merchant spawns, and it's announced to the server, and he's there for 30 minutes, and he buys trade packs at 3 times the value. Really, really profitable, but really risky because the whole server knows it's there. You can't fast travel there. You have to sail there. People are going to be on the beach, hidden, trying to fight you for it. You're going to either have to try to stealth one pack in at a time across people revealing and traps and stuff like that, or you're going to have to come with a group and have a merchant ship loaded with 20 packs and secure the beach and lock it down and have a fight and then roll your packs up into the vendor and turn them in and profit really well off of them. Um, there's also a champ spawn that only spawns on that island that drops it has a chance to drop an egg for a really good pet that you can raise into a really good pet. Super desirable, comes in a bunch of different hues, and it's like a 5% drop rate for the egg, and then 8 different hues, and then there's a ninth hue that's only 1% drop rate, and it's animated like flames.
Mhm.
It's incredible looking.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and then there's sport fishing, which is similar to trade packs in a way, where you have to have a fishing boat and you go out and you fish until you catch these one. There's 5 different sport fish of different tiers. You can only carry one in your backpack at a time, and you're visually carrying a fish so people see you have it. Um, you can't recall when you have one. You can't go through gates when you have one or whatever. If you have a fishing boat, the hold can hold 4 more. And then those are basically trade packs that you got out of the ocean, and you have to bring them to a fishmonger and turn them in. But your people are going to be out looking to pirate you and whatever. So you
yeah.
might
I was
want to
gonna
get in a big
ask if you
fishing.
could still get sunk. That's cool. That's good.
Yeah, you get in a
Yeah,
fishing raid and have a bunch of people. Safety in numbers or whatever. Uh, you want to do that for sure. And Tortuga also has a fishmonger that pays 1.5x the normal time, and it's an island. So if you want to risk going in there and dropping your fish off, and you think you can get in and get out or whatever, everything's risk versus reward, and it's
yeah,
it's all there for you. There's even a black market bank on a little tiny island right off of Tortuga, so that you can bank stuff that you get before you lose it. So it'd be suck to go all the way in there, get all your rewards, and then not be able to get them out.
yeah.
So you can go to this black market bank, but he charges you 5K to open the bank.
Cool.
Like you can't just. It's a pretty cool system
Yeah,
actually. Um, so we took away the moon gates. I know that's like, excuse me, what? Especially on a server that doesn't have recall, it has only cast and gate, like I said. What we put in, I think I might have shown you a video of it. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but we have World of Warcraft flight paths,
yeah.
where you literally hop up on one of a bunch of different types of mounts. You get a big menu, uh, and you choose your destination. The farther it is, the more it costs. It's not very expensive at all, though. It's meant to be for newer people. And you fly up Z-axis really high in the air and fly over the dynamic map. You can see the people on the ground and stuff. You
Oh,
literally
cool.
fly over the map at like in a straight line to your destination. So going from Britain to Moonglow, which is about as far as you can go in those things, it probably takes you about 40 seconds or
Yeah.
whatever. So it's not recalling, but it's pretty fast travel.
Yeah.
And it's super cool, like looking to do that. It's literally when you if you played WoW, people are always flight pathing over you and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have full blown flight pass, and you have to unlock the things or whatever. And
That's
yeah,
awesome.
we'll build on that with custom flight pass and things like that.
I
Um,
I think
but
that's cool. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too far ahead, but I could just imagine, you know, flying and then seeing a huge group of people, and then being like, "Oh shoot,
yeah,
hey,
you're
the
reconning.
guild's on the way
Yeah,
down. Like, get ready, guys, they're coming." You know,
yeah, yeah,
like that's
yeah.
pretty
And see,
cool.
in a hamlet siege, you're like, all right,
Yeah,
what route goes over this? Where
yeah.
are the people going to be coming from?
And you might
Like,
put
can we?
somebody on that flight path scout. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty cool.
No, it's super cool.
Yeah.
We made a dolphin mount that
I
you're
did
really
see that.
tied.
I did see
That is
that. I
so
love it.
good. Like the
Yeah.
animation's tied to it perfect. Like
Yeah.
the traditional problem with the dolphin, people have tried to do the dolphin mount a lot. I haven't seen a lot of people really get it correctly because the dolphin's body goes in an arch over and over, right?
Hmm.
And you're right. If you're just putting on your horse mounted animation on the dolphin's body is going to like go up into your chest over and over. It's not going to look right.
Yeah.
Well, we got you riding the dolphin correctly, and it looks super cool. Um, it's going to be a rare thing, a rare drop to get, but like it's super cool. It's super
Yeah.
cool to have a water mount that's a dolphin mount that um, you could scout the oceans with, or do one fish or one trade pack at a time into Tortuga or whatever without having the big ship that's giving you away. You could be more stealthy, but less. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But let's
No.
let's get into the thing that really sets us apart, and this is going to be either people's ears are going to perk up or they're going to be like, "Ah." But I think everyone objectively steps back and thinks about it, they'll understand it.
Okay.
This is going to be the first UO server in all of history where RMT is legitimized. Now, RMT is on every server there is.
Okay.
Um, I'm not going to go ahead and I'm not going to guess how much PrevCoin sells a month on Outlands, but it's a lot.
Okay.
And people sell it for gold. So, and
Yep.
that's one of the main functions of it is for people to buy gold. So RMT is not a dirty word. It's been around forever. There's tons of people doing it illegally, tons of people doing it legally. If you do it illegally, you have to worry about getting scammed, going through weird things, getting banned if the server is against it, which every server basically has been. There's been one or two servers that didn't legitimize it, but they said, hey, we're just not going to have anything to do with it. We're not going to ban people for doing it, but if you get scammed, you're on your own. We're not going to do anything that way either. And then it becomes that's not a great solution either. But for me, working in the Web3 thing for the last 3 years, 4 years, I really believe that gamers own their time.
Okay.
Like if there's a free market for them, for their time investment into whatever, they should be able to do whatever they want with it.
Sure.
Um, we're not going to buy it from you, but if somebody else wants to buy something from you, they should be able to buy something from you. But you shouldn't have to deal with the being scared that it's going to be a scam or somebody's going to on either side, that they'll reverse charges and take the money back or whatever.
Right.
So when I say legitimize, we're going to have an auction house. We already have it. It's already in game. We have an auction house where you can buy and sell your items, including pets, houses, like deeds that have already been placed. Anything you can think of, you can sell it to each other for our equivalent of a premium coin. And the premium coin that every other server uses as a donation coin and sells. Some servers sell ethereals and things that you should actually have to earn in game, like Outlands makes you do. It's the right choice. But most of it's cosmetics, right? And people
Right.
love cosmetics.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
they
we
do.
will offer those for sure. In fact, we have a pixel artist. We're one of the only servers outside of Outlands that has custom clothing that has in-game animations, has its own unique in-game animations to it. Um, so yeah, we'll sell that stuff for sure. But when you buy stuff on the marketplace from each other, say I want to buy your house and it's in a really good place and I think it's worth $200 and I'll give you 200 perilous marks for it on the auction house. You can cash out the perilous marks as well.
Sure.
I think we talked about earlier in this podcast that we had a lot of security
Yeah.
and special login methods. When you log into our server, it'll be unlike any other server you've ever logged into. You'll log in with your email, your Gmail, or your Facebook, or your X account, or whatever, the first time through a system called Particle, and it's going to create a wallet for you. You don't have to manage it at all. Don't worry about it. You don't even need it. But it's going to create one as part of the login system, and it's going to tie it to your account. At that point, it's going to do a couple handshakes behind the scenes and give a one-time encrypted code to the next step of the system. And this happens 2 to 3 times through login. It's very seamless. You can log in and out of the game once you've done the first login and save things in a matter of 10 seconds. It's not a long process. But all these security measures make sure that you have a wallet and we know the address to it so that we can cash you out when you decide that you want to redeem some of your perilous marks. There you'll be able to redeem them. There'll be an admin fee like 10% or something to cover taxes and a little bit of profit for the server, but even that profit is going to be revenue shared. I'll talk about that in a second. But once you get in there, what it keeps you from being able to do is play any other client or any other assistant. You cannot connect to it's impossible. You cannot connect to our server without going through this process that your computer doesn't even see the codes. It's encrypted. It's injected behind the scenes and your computer can't see it. And it's a one-time use code. So you don't even make an account name or a password. It's going to be auto-populated and it's going to look like a string of random bullshit when you go in there. You're just going to hit play, but it's going to be tied into that particle login. So it helps with a lot of things. It helps with security against DDoSing the logins because Particle is a major provider. They have their own protection, and you can't even begin to start sending us packets without being logged in. And a lot of the DDoS,
They just send a lot of packets over and over and
yeah,
over
they
and
have
over.
one
Yeah.
computer sending 2,000 account login tries. Well, that's
Yeah.
not going to happen with
Yeah.
us. You're not going to be able to get through with that. You're not going to be able to inject Orion or Razor Enhanced. You're going to have to use our forked CUO and our forked Razor. So everyone's going to be on the same. We've taken the scripts thing completely out. Macros still exist. You can still make macros, detailed macros for your mundane, your PVM things and your crafting things and things like that. But the big drama was there scripts in PvP for the longest time in Outlands. Well, there's no scripts tab in our Razor, so you're not gonna have to worry about that. So once you get logged in and you get these tokens, you can buy and sell anything you want if there's another player who wants to do it. And there are tons of players who do it, both above ground and below ground on, the morality side of it. Tons and tons and tons.
Sure.
We're
Yeah.
all adult gamers. I spent like, this is not a brag. In fact, I wish I hadn't. But I spent I spent like $7,000 on arcades in the year and a half that I played it or whatever.
Boy,
Like
yeah, yeah,
people spend a lot of gamers, adult gamers spend a lot of money
yep,
on the games that they choose to spend their time on.
yep,
And unfortunately, when you quit games, unless you break rules, you're basically lighting that on fire. You're
yeah,
getting the experience, but it's done. The money's not coming back.
yeah,
Well, you're able to invest in in this game, and if you decide it's not for you or your life circumstances change that you want to leave, as long as other people want to buy your stuff, you're able to just get your investment back, possibly more. If you're a savvy person, possibly less. It's free market. That's all on you.
yeah.
But we don't want to gatekeep anyone from doing that. Every other server I've ever played on, the server owners are determined that they're the only people that the money can go to. And I don't believe in that, especially coming from Web3. I believe that you should own your time, you should own your assets, and you should be able to sell them for whatever they're worth, if or buy time, whatever you want to do, because it's part. You only have one currency in this life, and it's time, and you've spent it on this. And if you want to be somewhere in the game and you can't spend the time, you should be able to buy gold, like just like people buy Prev coins and sell it for gold now.
Right.
So we're facilitating that with a completely secure thing. You don't have to worry about getting banned. You don't have to worry about getting scammed. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Furthermore, a certain percentage of what is made every single week, and it'll be transparent, will be re-injected into the server when a lot will be re-injected in the server in the form of hiring artists and doing stuff like that. But that's not what I mean. You know how we were just talking earlier about Outlands has $100 something tournaments like 4 times a year or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
We will have a cash tournament every single weekend. Every
Okay.
single weekend of the year, some percentage. It'll be a hard percentage, whether we make $100 or $1,000 the week before, whatever it is. Say it's 2% for PvP. Whatever that percentage of that is, will be paid in perilous marks to the winners of a tournament that weekend, and they can cash those perilous marks out, right? Um, Instead of, we don't have an antiquity system, but we'll do this for every single playstyle. So crafters, instead of getting an antiquity, they're crafting a bunch of stuff, and suddenly a check for, you know, 10 perilous marks drops in their backpack because $40 worth
Sure.
of perilous marks were set that week to be able to drop for this group of people in events. PVMers, tamers, everything. There'll be about 15 to 20% of the revenue that we take will be adjusted to all the different play styles to reward players for playing in the things that they do.
That's
Like,
interesting.
this is
That's
a
wild. Yeah.
server
Yeah.
made by gamers for gamers,
Okay.
and that's the whole thing behind it.
It's like
We
FUBU,
don't
but
plan on
gamers.
taking we yeah, for real, exactly, for us by us. We don't plan on taking a single penny out of this server for at least a year. Like,
Yeah.
everything is just going to go back into it, building it, hiring more artists. We hired 2 extremely well-known mappers. We have a pixel artist right now doing things. We want more of them. We're going to get custom mobs, custom mounts,
Sure.
all this stuff built. We the thing behind what I just told you that's going to make it crazy is I have ties with like 30 or 40 Web3 guilds. They have full guilds that are bigger than any guilds on Outlands, right? They're like a couple hundred, 400, 500 people in in these things. And I have run a bunch of game nights and paid partnerships with all of these guilds to promote my Heroes of Hold'em or whatever as a Web3 game, a play to earn game. Um, I have relationships with all these people. I'm going to be running events with all of those guilds again to promote this server to them because it's play to earn, because it's not really play to earn, but it has a free market, and that's all that matters to them. They don't really give a shit about the blockchain. They just want to own their shit. And so I'll tell you right now, from being on the other side, there are no good blockchain games. They're all trash. They're like, they're not good. UO is a better game than anything that's ever come out on the blockchain. And there's a lot of RPGs, and they all have like old style graphics and stuff like that. So the graphics won't be a problem either. So when these people learn about this game from their guild masters and from a hour, 2 hour long demo game night or whatever, a certain percentage of them are going to be like, this is really fun. This is funner than anything that Web3 offers. And my stuff actually has value and it's provable because you can see the metrics from what people are spending elsewhere. I mean, it's out there. Um, and so I truly believe, because I know the people that run these things, and I've got experience bringing people into HOH, that this will be one of the first UO servers ever that brings a whole crowd of new people to UO that have never played UO before.
A new
They've
crowd of
never
people. It's good. Yeah.
A new crowd of brand new to UO players who are just going to be clueless on how it works and find all that magic
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And furthermore, in Web3, that group is kind of damaging to you because a lot of them are trying to extract value and stuff like that or whatever. But here, they're not damaging because they're having fun in their warm bodies and they're providing things that other people might want, and they're going to get addicted to the game and they're going to start progressing and buying things. But most importantly, they're a base population. And
Yeah.
several servers come out a year, and no matter how bad a server it is, they all do good for the first 30 days because everybody loves the new server experience and everybody is hoping for something new and trying something. Not that Outlands isn't amazing. I'm not saying anything about them, but
Yeah.
a lot of UO players have been around for a long time and they like, you don't have to be locked into one server. You
No,
can
that's true.
play
That's true.
different eras and different servers.
You're not wrong, man. It's really funny because anytime I stream a different game, or anytime a streamer streams a different game in general, they're like, "Oh, what happened? Did you quit? Did you quit that game?" It's like,
Yeah. No,
no,
I just want a
it's
break,
like
bro.
I'm not
I
married
know.
to a game. It's okay to play another game. That game is not going to be like, "Oh, you cheated on me because you're playing another game right now." It's like it's okay to play multiple
Right?
games for
I like
sure.
sushi, but I don't want to eat sushi every single meal.
And
Like,
exactly. And I don't order 5 of the same salmon rolls. I get a
yeah,
ninja roll,
exactly.
I get a, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
All this stuff. But it's always it's funny when that happens. But and there are some people that are like, "Oh no, I can only play one game. I devote all my time." And that's fine. That's fine. But I can tell you today I've played StarCraft 2, I've played Overwatch, I've played Outlands, and I played Final Fantasy. I don't know what it is. It's whatever the latest single player one is. I played that. I mean, all those games today. And
well, you need to not play all of those and play Expansion 3.
that is true. That is true. I
That's what you
will. I will end up playing that. But my point in saying that is that there's a lot of people that play multiple games. You got people
Yeah.
like Jace Hones who plays. Which, by the way, you need to reach out to him if you haven't already. But he's built his whole channel mostly recently around playing multiple servers and testing them out, and his community like votes where to go next and stuff like that. But you should really reach out to him.
I'll definitely reach out to him. I've played
Yeah,
with him in a guild on a Sphere server before, and
yeah,
you know, we're not
yeah.
like besties, but I feel like I have a decent rapport with him. So
He's
I'll reach
good
out to him.
people. Yeah, yeah. But and Oxford too. I can give you a list of people, but you probably
I
know them
know,
too.
yeah, I know Oxford.
Yeah, yeah.
We started out on the wrong foot, but I think we are friendly at this point.
There you go.
We started out on Shivan's server and griefing each other. We always tell the stories. So,
That's
but
good.
yeah, I plan on talking to all these people. Trust me.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
for sure. I want, but Jay Owens is a good one for you to make sure that I look
Yeah,
at for sure.
yeah. But yeah, man, I think it's okay to play multiple games, multiple servers.
Especially when they're different eras.
Sure, the whole tribalism thing, especially in UO, it's so weird to me, man.
I
Um,
agree.
I used to, so when I would raid people, And if I rated another, so like there was this guy that used to stream retail quite a bit. His name is Epic Loot Gaming, Patrick, and he was like my favorite person to watch outside of Outlands. He's just this like really cool long-haired hippie dude. Lives up in Pacific Northwest area, and he has another YouTube channel called like Pacific Northwesting, and he just like walks really beautiful parts of that area in Oregon. And anyways, I'd rating, and I would always get nervous when I would rating because I knew the inevitable of everybody being like, "Why do you play retail? Why don't you come over here?" And I'd just be like so embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
Listen, I without a doubt feel that Outlands is leaps and bounds better than retail, and you know it is what it is. But that's my flavor. You know, I like chocolate ice cream. Let him enjoy his vanilla ice cream or strawberry
They're
or
not
whatever
even
flavor.
remotely the same. It's
Right, they're
hard to even
completely.
compare the two.
It,
They're so different.
that's very true. And but I also, you will never see me bashing somebody saying, "Why are you playing that server?" You know what I mean? Like when people get upset on Outlands because they got PK'd too many times, I always am very quick to recommend, "Hey, you should check out UO Alive. It's a PVM only server. You might like that better." You know, like I mean, yeah, I tell them about the sanctuary dungeons and all that good stuff too. But at the end of the day, man, that's why, you know, I'm definitely glad to talk to you about your server. At the end of the day, man, yes, I love Outlands, man. I've built my whole channel, and I've spent many hours on Outlands and stuff. But honestly, at the end of the day, I just want Ultima Online itself to be there for as long as it possibly can be in whatever
Yep.
form it is. And you know, if Outlands is still there when I retire in 20 years, hell yeah, dude, that's awesome. But I also
Sure.
understand that life happens and things might happen, and whatever, who knows what it may be. And so why wouldn't I want another server to do well as well, especially if there's a chance that it could bring a completely different and new community to the game. It's asinine to sit there and just want other servers to do bad. It's okay for multiple servers to do great. I wanted sagas to do well. I wanted, you know, the latest whatever Ryan, you know, did with Hybrid or Invectus or whatever. I don't know, but I want all servers to do very good. Um, Unfortunately, it doesn't always happen, but
Especially if they're innovative and they have new people
yes,
passionately behind them creating. It's not a cash grab where they're just throwing up another version V5.0 of their previous server and with a
yep,
little bit of extra on it. Like if it offers an actual experiences that you haven't seen before while being in a familiar world and of UO that you love,
yep,
like I'm for 100 people opening those things because
agreed.
sure it dilutes originally up front it'll dilute some people from some servers or whatever, but those people word of mouth will bring other friends into the game, and that's what UO
Yeah,
needs. We're old. A lot of
yeah,
us are old. You happen to be young, but a lot of us. I joke all the time that I'm old. There's tons of UO players my age and older, tons of UO players my age and older. So that's not a good thing. We're gonna be a dying
yeah.
off breed, and
You
we
you
want
say
UO to
I'm
stay around.
you say I'm young, but I'm 40. But you're also not wrong in the age area, like of those popular age gap or groups. I am in the middle slash younger side of it, without
Yeah,
a doubt.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 49 in 2 weeks.
Well, happy early birthday, man. Yeah, and then you have a few people that are extremely young, and you're like, wait, what? You picked this game to play? It's
That's
always,
awesome.
it is,
And
it
the
really
more
is,
of
man.
those you can get in, the more they're gonna bring their friends in. Because come
Yeah,
on, UO is kind of like Roblox, but like way better.
sure.
Like you
Yeah,
understand, like there's all these different things you can do in it or whatever, and it's sort of uh, a retro style graphics and whatnot. So if it,
yeah,
what I'm trying to say is a Roblox player would like a UO game. They're not necessarily, a Fortnite player might not, but who knows?
yeah.
The more people you can bring in it, the more success every rising tide what's the word? A rising tide raises all
Rising
boats
tide
or
raises
whatever.
all boats. That's it, man. And
Yeah,
that's the
yeah, yeah,
100% the truth, man. It really is, especially in such a niche slash old game like this.
yeah,
It needs that, man. That's it's the same with like content creators. You know, it's funny because oftentimes people will reach out to me and they'll be like, "Hey, do you have a video over this?" And I'm like, "No, I don't, but this guy does." And all things
yeah,
considering that, you might really look into his channel. And people will be like, "What? You're recommending?" And it's like, "Well, yeah, why wouldn't I?" Like I'm sitting here encouraging everybody. If you ever thought about making a video over Ultima Online, do it. Like, there's not a bad
yeah.
video. If you want to edit it like crazy and get look all pretty, awesome. If you just want to record your gameplay and post it, great. That's fine too. Just like I think between all servers, and I'm really excited to hear that you understand the importance of streamers and content creators and stuff like that, because I promise you, just like people hearing that, other streamers and content creators, they will gravitate towards your server, because there's nothing better as a content creator than hearing from the owner, "Hey, thanks," or "Hey, we welcome," or "We have a program," or whatever it is, um,
I've spent the last 4 years working hand in hand organizing with multiple content creators on multiple fields
yeah.
just for another game. So I'm fully aware.
It's,
And I
of
was a
course.
streamer myself for
Yeah.
Magic. I was a like full-time streamer for Magic in like 2013, 2014, 2015, or
Okay.
whatever. So
Yeah.
I understand it from that side as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, streaming is the best thing. YouTube is a great thing. In fact, if any of the people listening to this later on have editing skills and we have so much content that could be covered, and just hit me up, talk to me. We can work something out if you want to play test and you're like, hey, this I like this side of it. I'll make some content on that. What can we do? And we'll work something out to make it worthwhile.
That's good to hear.
Because we want quality content. I don't have the time to code and create all this stuff and run all this stuff and make content. I need to find. I don't have time to do the art. That's why we hire artists. I don't have time to do the content. That's why we'll hire content creators. I have my lane, and that's what I'm here for. I'm taking. I'm gonna take advice from Owen. He didn't mean to give it advice, but it's something he said
Yeah.
stuck with me a long time ago. He said, if I could go back, I would never be the community manager. I would have hired somebody to do it. But at this point, I know everything and I know everyone, and I can't hand it all over to somebody. But I would never do that. And I'm going to take his word on that. He's run the biggest server around, and I'm going to get a community manager and turn my DMs off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
I don't want to argue with people. I don't want people to tell me what needs to happen on the server. I don't need DMs filled up, and I definitely don't want to be policing any kind of Discord. So
Yeah,
I will just hire people to do that.
and hiring somebody also gives that community manager the leeway to, I mean, he can control it, he can manage it, but he can also just be like, "Yeah, no, that's not the direction they're going. Sorry," and just drop it at that, rather than
Yeah,
and then the person can continue to argue and be like, "I can see your point, but I also understand their point, and that's the direction they're going. Sorry," and it ends right there. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just, I think it's a lot easier for a second level, to his point and yours as well, to manage that versus the owner, because then it's just like Owen can say, "No, sorry, this is what I'm doing," and then that person can continue and continue and continue
yeah.
and
That
continue.
person was me many times.
There you
And
go, and it's just
that's
like,
part of the reason why I'm not in Outlands Discord anymore. You
that's
know,
the.
I'll take this time to say I'm sorry, Owen. I apologize for my previous behavior, but it is what it is. But
So,
I like to think that I've changed, but I don't want to put it to the test. I don't want to be the person who handles my Discord.
get it.
That's not my role.
I
And
get it.
so, yeah, I'll
It
be hiring somebody for that for sure.
what
And it won't be from the community either. It'll be like a professional person, a professional CM, not somebody who's a UO player who has any kind of bias or knowledge of previous people, who can just completely play the part correctly and not get personal with people.
That's good. Yeah. No, that's a good point. Do you like? I get it's super early. I mean, do you have any idea of either release, closed beta, open beta? I don't know, early access. I mean, those are things these days, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
What do
yeah.
you got?
We're in invite only alpha right now, uh and our playtest Discord has like 20 people in it. I would say only about 8 of them are actually actively testing right now at the moment, but we have like we'll set together a Dota match or whatever, and see if we can find some bugs, see if we can find some balancing or whatever. Uh, Things are moving pretty fast though. We got it 6 months in. I think, you know, anybody who actually truly wants to put some time in and test can DM me, either on Discord or on Reddit, and I'll give them access. I like to see things broken so that I can fix them, so we can have a high quality product when it launches. But I really have a strong urge. Like our goal is pretty hard to launch an open beta by mid-August, and we definitely want to launch the live server before Halloween. So
That's
that's
like
it's a time frame.
that's man, that's like 8 weeks, dude. That's a
8 weeks
while.
for open beta. It's gonna
Yeah.
be open beta is gonna be like a month and a half
Does that
long.
involve the open world and stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. That's
I put a lot of time into this.
okay.
This isn't a hobby for me. This is I work from home. I own a couple businesses. I'm in Canada. I own a couple businesses in the United States. I admin them. I have partners and friends who do other duties for them, including the physical sides of them. So I'm my own boss. I work from home. I set my own hours, and it allows me the opportunity to put a lot of time into this. So I would say I put well over full-time hours a week into building this for 6 months now, like
Well,
40, 50 hour weeks. So sure, it's a 6 to 8 weeks away before an open beta, but all these systems that I talked about are built.
yeah.
They're just not populate. They're not all populated at the same time on the server right now, because there's no reason until I have the dedicated testers who are like, hey, I can make it this Saturday. We're gonna have a 90-minute session, and we're gonna test this function of the game, the sieges or the
Yeah.
Dota match or paintball or whatever. Uh, and we focus on them one at a time, knock them out, get all the bugs, get all the balancing, and fix them. But the systems, these are not hypothetical things that I've brought up. They're all already in game working.
That's
They just
exciting.
need a little bit
Yeah.
of testing and balancing. Speaking of which, I haven't even mentioned our casino. We have the sickest casino you have ever seen in the UO server anywhere.
Okay.
Like, you go to the casino in the game, you click on the casino stone, you buy in, it asks you to buy in for a certain amount of gold. Once you buy in, it automatically opens your browser of your whatever the browser that you use is, your default browser. You are now walking around looks like UO, in a casino with your character, with what you're wearing, and you're walking around, and we have slots, we have blackjack, we have multiplayer hold'em, we have casino hold'em, we have roulette, we have craps, we have crash, we have krong, we have scratch off tickets, like weekly lotto. It's a full blown casino, and you're betting your UO gold at these different things, including the multiplayer poker. And the multiplayer poker is on a skinned to UO and our server dynamics, but it's like a professional poker software. So it's efficient, fast, not slow, not clunky. It's quality. So you're in
Like
a
it.
casino playing with your UO gold, tied in, bought in, hand shuck in. You can't actually even get into the casino unless you go through the game. You can't like go to the browser separately and get to it and whatnot. And you're playing all these casino games, and then you can cash out any time, and it deposits it as a check into your bank.
That's exciting. I like
It's
that.
amazing,
Keep
dude.
Archer's
I
on
didn't think
away
it would be
from it.
possible.
No.
I thought about him so much. I was like, he's done so. If
Yeah.
Archer's on or Chapo sees this,
Yeah.
they're done.
You know
They're
what's funny?
done.
Arch comes in. He found my YouTube, and he comes onto the YouTube side of the stream. So you know this, but I stream on 5 different platforms when I stream.
Yeah.
But he comes over to the YouTube side, and I know it's him because it's his name, his like real name, and he just
Yeah.
talks, you know. But anyways, man, it's always the same. He starts out real friendly, and then I don't answer a question the right way or quick enough, and suddenly he goes off just like he used to, and it's just like,
Man,
oh,
I met him on UOF. Oh, so when I first joined, my first day on UOF, I did not know any better. And it's funny because we had this person on your podcast. I saw it on your YouTube. I was like, hey, I need a guild. I'm gonna find a guild, and I joined Shooty's guild.
okay, yeah,
I was
LTT, yeah,
I
yeah.
was in the group. I didn't say anything, but I was in the group during that stupid IDOC video.
Oh, that's
Like
great.
I was in Shooty's guild for 3 days, and it was during that video, that
Oh
period.
god.
And I was like, this dude is insane. Like he's gotten older
Sure.
and different, but back then, dude,
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's seen the video. This dude was
Yeah.
calling people out like just weird. I was like, I can't take it. I can't take it. Me and him got in screaming matches multiple times. I was like, I can't
Oh,
take it.
that's great.
So I went off on my own. But in that period, Archer's Non was in the Discord a bunch asking people for money to gamble
Yes,
over
yes.
and over. And Shooty was calling about repeatedly, telling him he needed to fix his life and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
Shooty.
I was like, dude, he's just asking for some gold in UO, bro. What are you talking about?
Oh god. Yeah, well,
But Archer would just hit the slot machines and would not get off of them until he was broke. He'd be in Discord, I just want a ton, and everybody would be like, catch it out.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, nope. An hour
So,
later, he'd be broke.
in EQMS, Glut would, or excuse me, Arch would come in, and he'd be like, hey, how's it going? And we'd be like, hey, Arch, what's up, dude? And he'd be like, having a real bad day. I'd be like, oh, no, I'm sorry, man. What's going on? And he'd just be like,
voice.
he'd just say something like, whatever bad happened during the day. And then he'd be like, yeah, you think I could get 250K? And this is on UO Forever. That was like the buy-in, right?
Yep.
You know? And then
Yep.
somebody would give it to him and he'd lose it. And he'd be like, man, I should have won that, but I went all in. I lost. And then he'd like, Glut would be in there and he'd be like, Glut, man, you think you can tax everybody for me? And so like Glut would eventually, after, like, Glut would be like, all right, dude, here's the deal. Sing a cappella like Diamond in the Sky.
Gold.
And so like Arch would sing this whole song. He'd like pull up the lyrics on YouTube and he'd sing the whole thing and mumble, right? And then Glut would be like,
That's
all right,
250K.
everybody in here has to give him a check. And if you didn't, you'd get kicked out of the guild, right? Or you had to have a damn good reason as to why you don't have 250K. And somebody would spot you or whatever. But anyways, yeah, and so he'd walk in there with, a couple million, and then all of a sudden he'd lose it again, and he'd rage out because we wouldn't give him more. And dude, like I told you, that was some of the most toxic, but it was also some of the most like,
it's funny.
I won't forget
it's not
any of
that
it.
serious.
Yeah,
it's not that serious.
Yeah, it's just like video game money. You know what I mean? And like, I won't forget it ever. Me and Beltane constantly reminisce about some of those mumble conversations and just Archer's on rage out and stuff. And Oh man, I remember the first time he jumped into my channel when I was streaming. I was just like, "Oh my god, it's Archer's on!" Like, yeah, wild, wild. Um, okay, so you're doing a beta coming up on roughly 8 weeks. That's exciting. And what I always do, and I'm sure you've seen it, is I put you said if anybody wants to test, reach out to you. I always put your Discord, whoever I'm chatting with, their Discord right below on here, so
Sure.
everybody can see it. I'll put it in the comments, or not the comments, but the
I will say
description. Go ahead.
the stage we're in, you shouldn't contact me unless you actually want to test with us. Like,
Yeah,
not that I really want you to try out our server and stuff like that, but it's not going to be fun for you if you're just like, I want to get in and just start playing UO.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
we don't
yeah,
have it set up for that at the moment. I could, but I don't. That's not the way I want to do it. I want to get through each thing that we talked about here and make sure it's just right.
makes sense.
And
Yeah,
so
it's
if
not
you
like
want to
testing
try
like you're
the
gonna
Dota,
build
you don't
the
have to
game.
you have to sign your life away. But if there's a certain
Yeah,
thing you heard about and you're like, I want to test that, sure, contact me and I'll let you know when we're testing that.
yeah.
But but if you're just interested in keeping tabs on the server, don't worry. You're not going to forget. We're going to be advertising and marketing it, and it's not going to launch without you knowing about it.
And so
But
you
if
have
you
a
want,
website and stuff like that too, right?
yeah, we have a website. It's rough right now. I mean,
Okay.
it's worth going to, but it's not. We have not put a ton of time into the website yet. But
Should they
it's.
just be looking at Reddit more or what?
I mean, this is really kind of the coming out party. Like, I
Yeah,
haven't really. There's like less than 20 people or so, 25 people that
yeah.
knew this thing existed at all, or that knew that I was doing anything about this. I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 days ago, 4 days ago, we posted on Reddit for the first time about the Dota itself because it's ready to be tested
Did
and
they
trying to
know
get
it was
some
you?
testers.
Did they know it was you?
No,
No.
no, it's posted. It's posted anonymously. I actually considered not having my name tied to this in any way. Not
Sure.
because we talked about it previously. Just like, I don't want people to judge the project on it
They,
past interactions with
they
me.
they're going to,
Should
but
talk.
you know what, man? In all honesty, I think it goes back to the whole like even bad publicity is good publicity. In this, you're gonna have some of
Yeah.
your haters that don't like you that are still gonna come to play your server just so that they hope they can shit on it. And then they might
Uh,
end up being well, and then they might end up being like, well, actually, this is a really cool server. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that
I hope I don't have any haters.
I don't
I probably do,
sure.
but I don't have anything against anybody in all of UO, even people that I've argued vehemently with. I don't have anything against you, and I apologize for my side of it.
I I get that,
I
but
really
look,
have gone through a
everybody has
journey.
haters, dude. I get that, but everybody, I have haters. So I have a lot of haters. I mean, everybody
Yeah,
has haters, dude. I'm just,
yeah, but
it,
that's such a strong word. Like, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
yeah, yeah. Um, I'm just saying that I personally take it for what it's worth, but I personally think you tying your name to it is a good thing. I think that I
It
think that
should be,
yeah,
not because I'm special or anything, but people. You're right. Most people do know my name for better or worse, and it's because I'm passionate about things like that. And that's exactly who you want building a game that you're going to play.
agreed,
Somebody who fucking loves it.
agreed.
Like, as long as they can not be a shithead
Hmm.
of a CM. Well, I'm not going to be the CM. I want nothing to do with that part of it.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
so you just got somebody who really loves this game and that has a lot of experience in a lot of different games, building the coolest things he can think of in this game. And I
No,
hope
I
you
think
all
that's
have fun coming and trying it out. And I think that you can play both Outlands and this server, no problem. Outlands is the best project that to date that's ever been made. It would take a whole lot more work than I've ever done to even come close to doing what they've accomplished. but we offer different things. So you can
Yeah.
enjoy, if you really enjoy UO, you can do both. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's mutually exclusive at all.
I would agree completely. I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, I'm like I said before, I'm about to play EverQuest while I
I,
play
I,
Outland. You know, so but
brother, brother, log into Expedition. I wish I could give you my copy because
I
I've beaten it
well,
twice. So.
I think I've got like a month or two until that actually comes out. So I got time to play Expedition 33 for sure. I do. Which I always ask everybody.
I'm gonna be messaging you and be like, so
I want you to, yeah,
how far are you?
yeah. Yeah, hold me
Because
accountable
I
to it.
can't wait till you hit a certain part of the game and you're like, dude,
Yeah, I'll
I
be
can't
DMing
believe
you.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so the last three questions I always ask everybody, man. And
Okay.
you know, if you could change anything about Outlands, here because we're going back to Outlands. But if you could change anything about Outlands, what would it be?
I kind of answered this question earlier, but I'm gonna answer it again
Sure.
with a more. I would change absolutely nothing
Yeah.
about it. It's not my project. It's
Yep.
their project. They're the vision behind it, and I think whatever they do is the perfect way that it should happen because they're creating it. They're the creators of it. So if I prefer one mechanic or one style over the other, that's a personal thing. I would not impose that or ask Outlands to change anything. I think the creator should create what they feel passionate about, and I think they've done an exceptionally good job.
Hmm.
I would never change anything that they've done.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, yeah. You did pretty much answer that earlier. I mean, that's pretty much what you said. So, um, if and then this one, and you can't say Expedition 33
Ah,
because you've
how about
already played
Expedition
it.
34?
There you go. But I mean, what? And you can't say Perilous Legends. But what
Oh man,
what other games are you excited about?
man. Um,
I know your life has been
can,
living in
can I?
code and
Yeah,
math.
yeah. Can I phone a friend? Is
There
there
you
like,
go.
is there some? Can you give me some hints? What
That's
games are
good.
coming out that might ring a bell to me that I've been like, oh yeah, okay. There's this game. This is really kind of
Sure.
a cheesy. This is gonna be a weird answer, but I've seen ads for it on Facebook a lot recently. There's a Lady Death game coming out on Steam and some consoles or whatever, and it's like an old school side scroller fighter,
Okay.
like Double Dragon and those type of games or whatever. But it's based off of
A
the
comic book.
comic
Yeah.
Lady Death, yeah. And
Okay.
I read Lady Death and Evil Ernie when I was younger, a lot younger or whatever. And she's a pretty cool character. And so that's the only game I would like take a look at because I don't
Sure.
know what is being talked about right now because I've had my head so deep in building this for half a year.
Yeah.
Um, but if you could tell me some games that you think
No,
that
I
I
mean
might have heard.
that's a fair answer. It really is. It definitely is. I remember like Double Dragon, Battletoads.
Yeah,
Dude, Battletoads. Oh man.
Streets of Rage.
Yeah, yeah. Those were hard games, actually. But going back to Forest of Wires, and Carl is his name, but Forest of Wires is his Twitch stream. He plays a lot of those. He actually holds the record for Beavis and Butthead, which is one of those games. He holds the world record for that right now. But
Wow.
it's pretty fun. Those games. Uh, those are the ones that you go to the arcade and you spend like $40 and you made it to the third level.
Yeah.
There
Turtles
are.
in Time.
Yeah, that was the best one ever, dude. Oh man, without a doubt. Okay, so
Uh,
the last question I always ask everybody is who should be the next guest on the Pwncast?
I'm gonna be biased.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm gonna say one of my two friends who I think uh, are exceptionally good personalities and would be, and they're also just great players. And I don't know, maybe you've done one of them so far, but I don't think.
Okay.
But I don't think you could possibly go wrong if you could convince Ansem to do it.
He has been on here. Yeah. Yeah. He has.
Oh, I gotta watch it. I
Yeah.
gotta watch
Yeah.
it. I gotta
He
watch it. That's awesome.
he was
I gotta watch that.
you're not wrong, man. He was one of my favorites. And he's a real wholesome dude, but he still talks shit in PvP, which I like.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You would never know from the text that
Yep.
this dude is like a wholesome person, like
He's
a,
so nice,
and it's
dude.
so weird because
Yeah.
it's hard to tell over text, especially with the
Oh yeah.
content he puts out. But
Yep.
Owen seems to hate him, and I'm like, Owen, dude, you got the wrong impression. This dude's a really good dude.
He's
Like,
nice. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
he's a very
and
nice dude.
he was who finally convinced me to get started doing factions and dueling. Like I had been talking about, yeah, one day I'm gonna get into duels and stuff, and he was like, dude, you really should. And then I said on the podcast, okay, fine, I'm gonna get involved in it. I'm gonna go to Blaine School, and I'm gonna do it. And I
That's the other
did.
person I'm gonna name.
Yep, and it's funny you say that because Blaine messaged me. He updated his arena guide, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll take a peek of it after I get done with Akasha here. Uh, we're filming a podcast, and I need to get you on here in a couple months." And he was like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
Blaine.
anytime." So,
Blaine would be a great choice, not only because of how relevant and good he is now, but
yeah,
he goes all the way back to the Siege Perilous days that we were talking about. I knew him when he was in a 40 Thieves Guild or whatever.
okay,
Like he's been around the block for 20 years. Like
nice.
he's got he'll have a full podcast for the stories for sure.
That's good. That's good. Well, dude, I mean, this is another one of those that I mean, we're 3 hours in, and I
I
honestly,
told you.
I could sit here and I could go another 3 hours with you. Like I
I
could
told
just,
you from the start. I was like,
uh,
"Don't worry, brother. I can talk to the end of the time."
no, it's great, man. It's great. There have been people that I've had on multiple times, so I'd like to, a year from now, 6 months, 8 months from now, whatever. I'm not going to put a set date on it or anything right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
but I would like to get you back on here. There's a lot of history and stuff as well that I'd like to touch on in the future, and then also I'd just like to see kind of where we're at with your server and how it's going and all that stuff, man. Again, even though I'll be in touch with you anyways, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I
Always up.
I really do appreciate you getting on here, man. Like I said at the beginning, my first Mage Tamer template was you. I had a whole 60 taste ID so I could drop the buff down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all that, and I learned that from you. And I've just kind of seen some fun shenanigans over the years with you, and I appreciate you sharing those with me. So
I thank you. I've tried. I've tried to. Sometimes it's gotten a little over the top, but I really approached all these interactions. They're just a game.
yeah,
They're just part of the game, and they're never meant to be
yeah,
anything more than that. And if I crossed any lines to any of you guys, straight up, I'm sorry. Never meant to be a jerk.
yeah.
So thanks for having me on. I love talking about UO. I love talking about the past and history and the stories, and I'm super proud of my project coming out. Um, I I have a blessed life, and I get to do the stuff that I really enjoy, and it really brings me a lot of happiness. And I hope other people can experience it and they enjoy it too, because there's nothing better feeling than creating something and people liking it.
That's a great way to end on, man. That's awesome to hear, dude. That really is. Well, guys, with that, everybody, Pwncast start gaming out.